Bushwhacks were some of the worst days I've ever had in the mountains, or life, really.
Whereas Panther Mountain is totally opposite. It's a mountain on top of a crater.
I think the weather challenges on this incident were particularly difficult.
It was really the development of New York State. Catskills were responsible.
Now you're listening to Inside the Line, the Catskill Mountains podcast.
All right, so episode 179. Diana, did you just have a drink? What are you having? What is that?
Well, it's really exciting. I'm not sure. Well, I guess I can share. It's green tea and water.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like it looked a little rummish with maybe something else. So
imagine that.
Sorry. Okay, well, welcome to episode 179 tonight. Diana, aka natureaddictlady from Big Instagram, has her thoughts about hiking with dogs, and her hiking photography, adventures, and more. So tonight we have her on here, and we're going to be just chatting our lives away right now, and I'm looking forward to it. So Diana, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait to hear about you and Roxy. How's she doing?
She's okay. She's sort of the same. Still having some issues with her leg, but we're powering through.
Yeah, it's like I said, I was talking with you earlier. We can spend billions and billions on frickin' research in outer space, but we can't spend billions and billions in research and talking with frickin' animals.
Yeah, it's a nightmare. I mean, well, that's why I'm worried about this podcast going so long, because I could talk about her and dogs for like hours and hours on end. So don't even get me started.
I'm going to get you started. That's fine.
I know, you're definitely going to get started.
That's what's good. So excellent. So I'm looking forward to it. So let's go over quick shooting the shit. Like last week, we were going to talk about canister report, and we just had too much to talk about in the beginning. We had a bunch of rescues going on and stuff. So the 2024 canister report came out, and Jim Boughton from the 3500 Club and the 3500 Club provided this information. So we're just going to skim over it really quickly, and it's really good information to go over if you're a Catskill 3500 pursuer, or if you're like already done the 3500 and you know about the canisters and stuff like that. It's just really good to hear this information, because you go up to canister, you sign in, you see a bunch of people and signed in. You don't know how many people have signed in that year. So we're going to kind of go over that year after year, and then I broke down in some information from previous years, and it's very interesting. So let's talk about 2024. In 2024, 13,486 visitors signed into the canisters, which is down 11.75% from 2023. So I mean I don't even know how to. Is that high? Like, does anybody just like, holy shit, that's a lot.
So it would be interesting to know, relative to other areas that collect this type of data, how that compares to those other areas. But one of the things that I thought of when I reviewed through this, and it might be interesting for Diana and our listeners to also think of when you go through this, because presumably most of us that are listening have signed into the canisters. Just think that to tabulate all of this, you had to go through 13,486 sign-ins.
Wow. Yeah.
That's like a lot of work, man. It's not like, after dinner, I'm sitting down with a beverage, whether it's a green tea and water, a hard cider, or a Diet Coke like myself. And you're going to start going through those books one after the other. And just do you have like, some type of click counter? How do you keep track of, like, at each page, do you write the number of sign-ins at the bottom and then double back? What if you're like 40 pages into it and then you lose track of what number you're at?
I mean,
right?
Jim is like a wizard. I kind of see him as Gandalf.
He's a wizard, or he's mad. I would be mad doing this all these years. It just drive me crazy. Yeah.
For free. He volunteers and does this, and now Mike Sudi is in on this. I've tried to get him on the show. Hopefully he listens to this and he'll get him on the show.
Yeah, Mike will come on the show.
Yeah,
Mike,
he will.
Yeah, I understand Mike is off in Europe right now on a little rock climbing, bouldering mission. So,
Good for him. Awesome.
Yeah, kudos to him. So, Diana, what do you think of all this? Let's bring you into the conversation.
That's a lot of numbers.
Yeah.
I'm not a numbers person, so for me, it makes me dizzy. But I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I think that. Also, is this how they count the 3,500? Do your names have to be in the canisters or for proof?
Yes.
No.
Yes, they do. If you never signed in, it does. You never hiked it. It's like if you hike and don't tag us, it doesn't count.
Right.
That's a whole thing. If you hike and don't tag the podcast, it doesn't count.
I knew there was something to it. That's why I was like, there has to be a way to keep track of who's lying and who's not. Because it wouldn't make sense otherwise. But I would just say it must be really hard to read people's handwriting. Like I've had to input names from sign-in sheets before, and it is so hard to read people's handwriting, including mine. I have the worst handwriting. So.
Yeah.
Especially in the winter months.
Mm-hmm. Remember in the old days before they were using that kind of waterproof or more weather tolerant paper. And so the old days you'd schlep your way to the top of North Dome. You'd open the canister and you'd pull out the Walmart or Rite Aid brand notebook and start writing it, and the page would just start shredding as you're writing it in. So,
or there wouldn't be any pens or pencils in there and stuff like that. And
I've never had that happen.
I have the pens that they had that had the dispensers, the push pens, didn't have any left in it. So
that's why you got to carry your own.
I know. That's or inside the line, we'll have to put some in there. So
yeah, I think we should.
We should. All right.
Yeah.
So that, breaking that down, I figured out that it was 1,123 per month if you were to divide that by 12. So May was the busiest month with 1,300 sign-ins, which surpassing October, which is kind of weird. I kind of thought that those winter months right before the winter ends in March would kind of have the most because everybody's scrambling to get those winter peaks done. And that would surpass everything. But apparently May, I'm guessing it's probably because of the less nettles. Early in May has the less amount of nettles.
Yeah, I would suppose that you get a lot of activity in May because there actually are people who don't hike in the winter. Right? Yeah, I know. Yeah. It should be a crime. And so they're waiting all winter long to get out there and hike. And then it's springtime. There's no snow up there. There's no ice. They're like, all right, let's go. It's hiking season. And that's good for them that they don't get up there the rest of the year because it means more trail breaking and fun for us. But that's why I think May is the busy month.
True. Yeah. Because everything starts melting off. Diana, you 3,500er?
No, I'm not.
Ooh, okay. I mean, but you've done multiple numbers of these, correct?
Yeah, I think I've done about half. I'm not really trying to be a 3,500 or either. Don't judge me, but
no, not at all.
I do it more for the views, and I'll do the same one 10 times for sunrise hikes and sunset hikes and whatever my dog can handle. So I'm just not a peak bagger person, but I do give everyone a lot of respect that does it.
I like your style, though. I did this in the beginning. I started as kind of like one of those journeys and stuff like that. But then I realized the viewpoints are kind of like my destiny. And like you said, the sunrises, sunsets, the adventures is what it is. And Tad's the same way. He kind of just follows his own path. And then he's like, oh, shit, I've done the 420 grid now. That's pretty cool. It's insane.
It's always crazy how that happens. I have friends that have done that too, and they're like, oh my gosh, I redlined Harriman all of a sudden. Wow.
Yeah, there's pros and cons to the, being driven by a list and just freestyling. And I can make the argument both ways. And I've experienced the adrenaline rush to the extent it is such, closing in on the end of your 420, and then you reach the end of the 420. It's like, where am I? What do I do next? And why did I waste all that time hiking Vlaai 12 months out of the year, you know? But you do it, and, you know, so I've doubled back. I'm working on the second grid now, but I'm not trying to get it done in, you know, X number of years or decades.
So next topic. I mean, you guys know this. God, I shouldn't have shared this. What do you think, like, has the most canister sign-ins? Like, I would have gone in before this with something like Southwest Hunter.
Yeah, I could see saying Southwest Hunter has the most sign-ins.
Yeah. What do you, Diana? Do you have a thought?
Without looking at the list, hold your hand over your eyes.
I know.
I already looked at the list. I know it's not North Dome, so.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, actually. I mean, Catskill. Well, I just gave it away.
There you go. Say it. Take over the show, Diana. Do it. What was the most signed in?
Catskill High Peak.
So yes, Diana said that once again, most visited with 1,176 signers. I kind of see that because it's closest to the Hudson Valley. Mm-hmm. It's got a great view. I would say now it's trailed. I mean,
oh yeah, they're all trailed now.
They are. It's mostly trailed. But you know, that view on Hurricane Ledge is kind of fantastic. So looking over the Devil's Path and such. And it is long. I gotta admit, it's one of the longer ones. I'm surprised.
No, I don't think so.
It's like 8-9 miles. That's pretty long. It's not, the gain isn't that bad.
Yeah.
It's very gradual.
I have to say, and I've said this for quite a while, if you had somebody who was able-bodied, you know, capable of hiking any one of the mountains in the Catskills, but they could only go up one, I could make a strong case that it would be Catskill High Peak. Right? Because you have the view, you have the adventure. I mean, there's, even though it's all trailed up now, they're all great routes to get to it. Airplane wrecks.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Okay, you got airplane wrecks, you've got the view, you've got interesting terrain to hike through. And, you know, you can show somebody the moat around it.
The freaking moat, yeah.
Afterwards, you can check out some waterfall action. You can go over to Huckleberry, right? You know, there's a bunch of stuff going on. And then when you're done and you're ready to get out of town, you go over to Tannersville. You know,
yeah, I mean, it was either that or, you know, hawk it. I thought, you know, because it's, you know, 4-point-something miles.
That's where you take somebody that you don't like to hawk it.
The nettles, but still.
Yeah. I mean, really. I mean,
but still, it's 4.8 miles. I've seen people that have like, just done that out of just because, it's the shortest hike of the 3,500 and stuff.
Yeah. But if Hawkett had more snow in the winter, it'd be like training ground for the Olympic ski team. Okay. Because it only comes in two flavors, steep and steeper.
Yes.
You're huffing and puffing when the moment you shut your car door, your heart rate starts going up.
True. Because
you climb from, you know, the rear bumper of your car. Am I wrong, Diana?
I've never done that one, actually.
Ooh, that's fun.
Wow. Somebody who's lived a perfect life in the Catskills.
Well, I don't know. It's never perfect, but
never experienced the pleasure of hiking through the nettle forest of Hawkett Mountain in a late July afternoon.
No way.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the ones that have nettles, I also stay away from because my dog, like,
correct.
Nettles, there's just also like lots of ticks too, and it's terrible.
Yeah. Yes. I think the most miserable hike I ever took my daughter on was Hawkett.
Yeah. It's, you know, but still, you know, I understand that. What do you think, you know, the less, well, not what do you think? We already see it right here. The least amount of sign-ins was North Dome, 826. So that's down around 350 exactly from
what?
Catskill High Peak.
Why is that?
I think the approach to North Dome, even though it goes up through, like you can do through the Devil's Path, you can go to Cheryl. Most people do Cheryl and North Dome from, Jessup Road. Shaft. Sorry, I was going to say Shaft. All right, sorry. Inappropriate time. But still, I always say that. Sorry. That's a longer hike, so they don't kind of want to do it And then from the Devil's Path, it's freaking brutal as heck. It's just ledge after ledge. It's steep. Most of these people do it in the summertime when there's nettlicious area. Like when you do it during the summer times, it's fun, I would say. And then if it rains, you get down towards the Devil's Path. If you go the wrong way, you head towards the bog and stuff like that. So, it has a view, but it's pretty far away from the summit.
I like North Dome. I've done it from a bunch of different directions, but I want to hear if Diana's ever done North Dome.
I think I did. It's near Acre Point, right?
No, that's no, North Dome is near Hunter, West Hills, stuff like that, right in that area.
Okay, no, then I think we had views of North Dome maybe from Acre Point. Maybe that's what it was.
We might have. It's tough to get a view of North Dome unless you're from from Fire Towers. Definitely, you can get a view of North Dome. North Dome, and the profile of North Dome and the Devil's Path, like St. Anne's Peak, is one of those notches that is like a V, straight up V. North Dome has that side that is just straight up brutal as fuck. I hate to say it like that, but it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, then I would have remembered that. No, I definitely have not done North Dome. It was brutal as fuck.
It is. Yeah. It's fun. I mean, you can approach it from any way possible that it'll offer the sense of adventure. And the viewpoint, like I said, Tad, if you know where it is, and then if you know where the Boy Scout camp is, like the viewpoint over that, it's fantastic. Shows you the Burroughs Range, shows you part of profile of West Hill and St. Anne's Peak. So, you know,
you think it's better to do it in the winter? I feel like the ones that are a lot harder in the summer are easier for me when I'm snowshoeing. I don't know why.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm going to say with North Dome, if you go out to hike North Dome from the Devil's Path, after we've had a lot of snow with a thaw and then a refreeze where that snow turns into ice, to climb up that side of it is tough. Going down it is probably dangerous, but going up it is really, you don't think so, Stosh? I've never done it myself because I know better. Okay. I'll hit it from a different angle when I'm expecting a lot of ice. But I've talked to people that have been over there when it's been really, really icy and it's just brutal. So
I see. Yes. The thaw, freeze, thaw, stuff like that. I have been up there with a bunch of people that, fortunately, we already had a path made out. And I've never seen a better switchback path with snowshoeing than this in my life. And I was just like, this made the hike like, oh my God, who knew that? Did Jim Boughton do this? Because he knows that it was just like switchback, up a little bit, switchback. And then we were at the summit. I'm like, this is not North Dome. I seriously had a whole different thought. And whoever did that path, and this was years upon years ago, it was just phenomenal. And I was just like, so if you know the route, which is, I got to admit, whoever did that is a goddamn genius, because there wasn't parts of where we were like, okay, we need some equipment for this, or we need something more than, trail crampons, yes, a little bit thicker than a little bit edgier than micro spikes, but like it was something else. Like, so if you know the route, it's absolutely fantastic. But if you don't, and you just go straight up, you're gonna be in for a mess.
Yeah, well, I remember my first time up North Dome, and there was no indicia of a herd path. It was just like,
same
going out there and flashing it with no hint or rhyme or reason which way to go up this rock outcropping or wall, or which way to go up the other. It was a lot of fun, frankly, because you had to figure it out to go up it. But now you go there this time of year and, it's pretty well defined, as are most of the other ways up these trailless mountains.
Oh, well.
That's what I prefer. Well defined.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I got to admit, back a couple of years ago, I was like, kind of one of those naysayers, like stay off the mountain, stuff like that. I'm like, whatever. People are enjoying it. Hopefully they're enjoying it. People are getting the experience. They're falling in love. Whatever.
Yeah, well, the benefit of there being well-defined routes is to the extent that the traffic stays on those and is, keeps those as the well-defined routes, other ones can grow in, and the destruction of the habitat for those critters that call that home is going to reduce over time. So
True.
That's a benefit of it.
Yeah. So let's keep going over some information. I got a lot of information. I'm sorry. Estimated 30 to 40% of hikers are repeaters like Tad, signing 4 to 12 times a year. Outrageous.
Yeah, that's interesting that they collect that stat.
That's once again, Jim. I don't know how the hell he goes over. He's not a technical, technology type of guy. So is he writing this on a dry erase board and being like, Tad has signed in 4+ times at this place, or that's insane.
Yeah, don't underestimate Jim. He might have a team of highly trained, undocumented workers doing these tabulations for us.
I got what it is. He's using ChatGPT.
Could be.
He's using AI.
Yeah, I think that's his middle name, Chat.
Yeah, God, he actually is. But no, that's crazy. I mean, it's not crazy. I understand once again the grid, the stuff like that, all trails.
Yeah, but it's interesting what you point out in the next segment. Go through that, and then we can talk about that.
Jim's once again does this all. Books were swapped out 3+ times as needed. Canisters received painting names, updates, and occasional refurbishing. Again, the porcupines get to it. Southwest Hunter, we see that a lot. All names were submitted to the DEC following VSA with Volunteer Service Agreement protocol. Some illegal camping fires were occurred at summit sites. We know that, of course, that happens everywhere. One campfire incident at summit clearing is highlighted. Despite issues, most summits were respected and stayed clean. Big Indian's canister tree fell over this spring, replaced the following DEC approval. Tad, I don't know. You wanted me to probably stop at the DEC, right? You said something about that. You want to keep going?
Yeah. I mean, go ahead. They really submit all names to the DEC.
All right. So I guess we're going incognito now.
Wow. Well, that's kind of the theory behind Hikers Anonymous, maybe. But submitting all names, that takes a lot of effort and decoding, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It does. Like Jim does, the work, and he does this for free.
Yeah.
This is insane. And he had no it was just him.
I think Margaret helps him too. It's probably a team effort on their part, or has been. Now they've got Mike learning the ropes.
Are they Excel people? Like, some people love Excel sheets.
I hate Excel.
Oh my God, it's like my nightmare.
He might be an Excel kind of guy. I mean, he's really big on social media, which I'm absolutely helpful for, because he does Catskill trail conditions, stuff like that. He is the man that's out there on the field 24/7. Yeah. He volunteers so much. He is a goddamn legend. With him, Carol White, David White, they are the top of the people of the Catskills that should be kind of be put at all fire towers and just be like, look at these people. These people make this place the way it is because of them. So
are you saying we should erect a monument for Jim?
Yeah, take down that Rip Van Winkle monument on Colonel's Chair, and put up Jim, David, and Carol.
Why don't we on one of the canisters? Why don't we make it, in the likeness of Jim?
What do you mean?
I'll just paint over it, probably.
Yeah, make it like a resembling his head.
Yeah, that mustache is pretty.
Yeah. You go up there with his winter hat on.
Yes,
right. It's got that big volunteer patch on the side of it.
Yeah. So once again, like Tad said, when you put your name in there, put Rip Van Winkle does this thing.
No, I'm gonna start putting your name in.
Sweet. I can complete the grid beforehand.
Yeah, then I'm going to say some defamatory things about the DEC.
Oh, man. Oh, you're making really, This is not good. All right. So, also, yellow birch is the preferred species for durability. Beech trees are discouraged due to the disease. Of course, our beech trees are dying. The team avoids stressing new trees. They relocate only when necessary. Canisters are mounted for high visibility to deer bears, and also, of course, they didn't mention this for the winter as well. You get 4 or 5 feet of snow. If you have it at chest length when there's no snow, that's going to be buried. So, depends on the person, of course. Special fasteners are used to prevent tree poisoning from zinc or copper. Adaptation from a while ago. So we also welcome Mike Sudi to join the canister team. I don't know if he listens to this, but you and Jim can join. If you guys don't want to join via Zoom, I guess we're going to have to go to Schneider's and do a live interview. So we'll hook that up. We'll get that going. Mike is climbing a trip in Europe. No, sorry. That was you, Tad. Sorry.
I mentioned that earlier.
Once again.
I think he set off yesterday to go climb. I forget where exactly it was in Europe, but I bumped into his climbing partner at Rock and Snow on Saturday. And he mentioned that they were heading out on Monday. So I hope they have a fun and safe trip.
Yeah, definitely. So I also went over this, and I used, of course, AI, ChatGPT, to give me some stats of the past, what does it say? It looks like 16 years of the use of chairless peaks. So pretty cool stuff to look at. Very back and forthy. So we're going to go over this real quick. We'll talk about it. Use of chairless peaks has skyrocketed since 2008. Peak sign-ins occurred in, of course, 2021 with a gradual decline since. Now we're going to go over percentage increases from year after year. 2009, a 40% increase from 2008. And then we go on to 16%, 3%, 22%, 29, 2014, 6%, 2015, 10%, 2016, 33. And then we actually see a negative in 2017 when I actually finished my 3,500 at 3.8, negative 3.8. Gradually went up after that. 2018, 2019 had around 6%. 2020 saw a 46% increase. 2021 saw a 24% increase, and then it started going down from there. Negative 8% increase in 22. 23 had a negative 4, and then 24 had a negative 11. So each year after year, it's been going down since 2020, and ever since they started doing this in 2009, it's been back and forth. We've seen a back and forth kind of trend with this. Hiking gets popular, hiking gets not popular. I don't know what to say. We saw the internet probably trend in 2000. Can't even say 2009. I don't even know when I started my Facebook or MySpace. I think it was 2008. So
MySpace? Did you actually say MySpace?
Correct. That was a while ago.
That was before 2009, wasn't it?
I don't know. When the hell was it?
Yeah.
I'm sure it was, yeah.
Yeah. Why did they fail and Facebook survive?
I know. It was so much fun. So, yeah. So, it goes back and forth. I could probably put a graph of this, and it looks really cool. But once again, you have negatives and highs and stuff. The biggest jump, of course, was 2020 with a 46% increase. Now, of course, the pandemic brought that into the woods. People found the internet, started searching, wanted to get out of their homes, and basically said, screw you, we're getting out of our houses. Steepest drop was 2024 with negative 11% increase. Signs of post-COVID. We all know that. Notable decline trend 3 years in a row dropped after peaking in 2021. I'm pretty sure after a 46% increase, any time would be a notable drop. I think it's going to keep going on as people completed the 3,500. They're looking for something else. They're going to go up to maybe 46 to the whites, stuff like that. The Catskills were their first place, and now they fell in love, and they're going to go see more and more. Mm-hmm. So 2013 to 2016 was a big growth, plus 57% in 3 years. So once again, Tad, you put that question in, why in 3 years was there growth in that 2003 to 2016? That is a good question. What was going on during then?
I don't know. That's just a weird trend.
That seems more like the internet craze. That's probably when Instagram got big and
Oh, yeah.
Started tagging
Yeah.
places and
Yeah, that might.
influencers started happening.
Yeah. All right. So why is it, Diana? Because I know the answer. Why is it the decline 2022, 2023, 2024? Why is it that in each of those 3 years, there's been a decline in canister sign-ins?
Because there was such a large increase from the pandemic in 2020 and 2021. What Stash just said, right?
That makes sense. But you know what
Doesn't
makes
listen to
more
me.
sense to me? You ready
that?
for this? I put a lot of thought in this. And I think the decline coincides with the popularity of this podcast.
Oh.
And what? No, don't laugh it off. Don't laugh it off. I'm serious about this. Why is it that the increase in the popularity of this podcast would dissuade people from hiking in the Catskills?
Oh.
You ready? You ready?
Yes.
I'm ready.
It's because of we have brought to the forefront the fact that the Catskills is inhabited with mountain lions.
Oh, yes.
And it scares the shit out of
Absolutely.
people. They don't want to go in the Catskills anymore because
True.
we've let out the truth. We've let the cat out of the bag, so to speak.
True. And, you know, Ted, I'm pretty sure you also brought a good point that the DEC, a little bit later, of course, we're talking about the 2020s era, brought in the kind of permits to the Blue Hole and stuff. So, I mean, this probably brought more of a decline towards Lone and Rocky sign-ins and stuff. I mean, that's very, not really noticeable, but I mean, it's a little bit easier to approach it from there. And I looked it up, Diana. I looked it up, and it looks like Instagram hit 100 million monthly users in 2013, and then it was opened to Android users in 2012.
There you go.
So in a matter of 2013 to 2016, Diana, you were correct that it went from 100 million monthly users to 500 million monthly users.
Wow.
Gosh,
Wow. There
I'm
you go.
barely correct. I feel like I should win something.
Right?
You know,
So-
cookie.
Yeah, we're going to make you our official fact checker from now on.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not going with ChatGPT. I'm going to run this through Diana. So,
I appreciate that, but I'll probably be wrong about 90% of the time. But I'm going to take this for a win.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take
Well,
this
being wrong 90% of the time is still being wrong less a percentage of time than Stash and I.
Oh,
true.
very good.
Yeah. Oh,
All about
nice, nice.
perspective. I love that.
Yeah.
So there you go. Canister stats from 2024. Pretty cool stuff, I gotta admit, to hear this with people, you know, like me and Tad. Diana will get there sometime when she wants to, about the canister reports. It's just really neat to see this because, you know, I'm a can guy. I feel it's an honor to sign into those. You know, I feel it's fun. It's an adventure. And, you know, who knows who, like, you might, like, Tad will tell us about who he ran into this weekend and stuff like that. Like, did you run into anybody, or was that my friend? I'm sorry.
No, I guess I did have an interesting run-in this weekend. So.
Okay, a lot of people actually. Sorry, Ted, I confused you with a lot of other people in the conversation. So, but you never know who you would run into on a bushwhack, and it's insane that you would. That's the whole thing. So, Ted, you want to go over with this? You added this. I didn't see this.
Oh yeah. So apparently, Wednesday, which is tomorrow.
Jesus, what the?
Yeah.
When was this announced?
It was in last week's Ranger Reporter, DEC News Flash. So on Wednesday, July 9th at 11 a.m., the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation will join partners to announce a major land acquisition to the Catskill Forest Preserve and the completion of the accessibility and safety upgrades at Pikamoose Blue Hole.
Okay, so it's basically just a showing.
Well, yeah, I guess, you know, I haven't been over to, well, I've never been to Blue Hole in swimming season. So it'd be interesting to see what these safety upgrades are there. And it's kind of a shame that this once somewhat wilderness or natural area is being, suburbanized for the masses. And I would assume that the major land acquisition that they're referring to, do you think it's the Blue Hill acquisition?
Ooh, good point.
Or is it Wagon Wheel?
I don't think the Wagon Wheel is that big. Wasn't 3,900 acres, 3,100 acres.
Well, that's what
It's a Blue
Hill is, but Wagon Wheel's still kind of a significant thing.
Yeah,
Diana, do you know what Wagon Wheel is?
Mm-mm.
No?
It's, have you ever known of Ashokan High Point?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so right off of somewhere around there is the Wagon Wheel. A very great place that how do I say this, Ted? It's just the glacial area is geological.
Yeah, the glacial meltwater ripped a V-shaped notch through the ridge that comes off of Ashokan High Point. And you can actually see it when you look over that way from Minnewaska. You can see
if you would know what you're looking for, a lot of people don't notice it, which is crazy.
Diana would know what she's seeing when she looks over there. She's going to be like, oh, that's that Wagon Wheel thing that they talked about.
Now I'm going to have to look very closely. I'm going to have to go look at my pictures because I have a bunch of pictures of the Catskills from Minnewaska. So
Don't go to it. It's a tick-infested place that has a bunch of mountain lions and porcupines that'll bite your feet off. Leave it alone.
Yeah, but no, it's a very cool geological feature.
Yeah, Dr. Titus talks about it in some of his books. So
Okay.
it's very, you could be right, Tad. And I have no clue of this. I mean, I wouldn't have taken a day off to check this out, but the DEC commissioner is going to be there, Amanda Lefton, who has taken an insane amount of like pride in doing her job as a DEC commissioner, which is pretty cool to see.
Yeah,
she is.
She should be into it.
And I will try to get her on the show and be like, yo, you want to talk on the show? Guarantee she'd be like, I'd rather talk on your show than the DEC podcast, please.
Yeah, now I see the organizations that are going to be there. It's the Open Space Institute and the Catskill Center. So Diana, are you going to be there? You going over to this?
But my coworker's going and our executive director is going to be there. I thought it was a ribbon cutting for the new parking area. I didn't realize they were going to do an announcement as well. So
So you don't know what land they're referring to?
No, it's gotta be the parking areas, because the parking areas was a massive improvement from what they did. And then, once again, they can't be recording from there and doing it live because there's no service there. There's absolutely zero service in that area.
Well, I don't think it's going to be a live broadcast, but I'm going to be interested to look at this parking area because they're probably going to put garbage cans there, which then means people are just going to like overfill them. Animals are going to come. I hope they don't do that.
Been there, done that. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have to be up to the town, I think, because then they'd have to come and monitor that.
Yeah,
exactly.
There.
Pack in, pack out means more than just packing it out to the parking lot and leaving it there. So
our stewards there clean up a lot. But they said it's gotten better since the permit started, but
correct. So we have a lot of stuff going on, and of course it's always stuff going on in the Catskills during the summer months. It always gets busy and stuff like that. So good to see people getting out there. But once again, respect nature, respect the Catskills, leave no trace, bring it back with you. It's not that difficult. I'm not trying to make more work for stewards or gas stations or stuff like that, but pack it out and then throw it out at a local gas station,
Yeah, well, I think the one thing that we learned tonight, that the only thing that you're supposed to leave behind is
your false identification on the canister.
Yes. leave behind some, fake name when you sign in, because Jim is reporting you to the DEC.
Oh God, I can't wait for that. He's gonna be like, goddamn Stosh and Tad again.
Yeah.
Why are they doing these names? Looks like Mountain Lion Wanderer. But awesome. Good discussion. Thank you, Diana and Tad, for shooting the shit again. Good talk. Great talk. So Let's thank the awesome monthly supporters, Jeff Schott, Vicky Ferrero, Mikey S., John Comiskey, Summit Seekers, Desert City Radio, Betsy A., Denise W., Tom H., Vanessa, Jim C., and Eric. Thank you guys so much for supporting the show. Really appreciate it. If you want to support the show, let me know on an individual or a sponsor. Let me know. I can get a hold of you can get a hold of me and we'll chat about it. So, sponsor of the show, Another Summit, a branch of Guardian Rival. This fall, they are inviting you to take part in something powerful, the 1 Mile Challenge. It's simple. Walk, run, or ruck 1 mile a day for a month and solidarity for your veterans and first responders. Each mile is a step towards awareness, mental health, and suicide prevention. You can carry weight or just carry the cause. This podcast, Inside the Line, is putting together a team to help raise money and awareness, and we'd love to have you on board. Reach out to me or sign up and join our team and make every mile count, every dollar count as well. Let's crush this fundraiser. Link will be in the show notes on every platform. Also, Capture Your Love Story gets breathtaking backdrops with Outdoor Chronicles photography. Molly specializes in adventure couple photography. And she'll immortalize your moments of the stunning landscapes of the Catskills, Adirondacks, and White Mountains. She'll craft timeless images that reflect unique bond in nature's grandeur. Embark on an unforgettable photographic journey with Outdoor Chronicles photography. Don't hesitate to get a hold of Molly on all platforms. So, who is really outdoors? That's the question. And if you mention the podcast on one of your hikes through social media, we'll chat it about its show. And if you don't hike in the Catskills, if you hike in the Catskills and you don't tag us, it doesn't matter. You're not really doing it. So tag us by typing at ITL Catskill Mountain Podcast on your post. So Pink Pony Tracy was at Balsam Lake Mountain picking up some trash and enjoyed beautiful skies, then went to Esopus Fire Tower and bought a book called Catskill Opopathy.
Oh, it's not a book, it's a game.
It's a game. So Diana, please, I was trying to research this and I couldn't find anything about it. Please tell us about this game.
So the Catskill crew, I don't know if you know them, but they created the game. I forget the person's name in charge of that. I have one.
Is that Matt Smith?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if his name is Matt Smith. I just saw that Tad was holding it up. But yeah, Catskillopoly. It's like Monopoly, but with like Catskills. And you have to buy different peaks, and it's really cool.
You get to play Jay Gould and buy mountains in the Catskills and then tell people to stay the fuck away. That's what the game's about. No, I don't know. I haven't played it yet, but I have the game.
I bought it too.
Go ahead. What do you do? Like you say you buy different, like at different stores? Ted, we can see it definitely.
Well,
Thank you.
It's on sale at the Catskill Visitor Center in Mount Tremper. So,
all right, so
you know that.
So basically, we're not going to tell you anything. Go buy the book.
Yeah, it's a game.
It's a game.
Like Monopoly, but Catskillopoly.
Yeah.
Catskillopoly, get it? Monopoly?
Oh, so I'm sorry for feeling so stupid. I kind of thought it was something so you can play this at home with people. Mm-hmm. And it's just basically Catskill properties, like Tad said. Is at the end. So if you go to jail, is that when Jay Gould steals all your money?
We're going to find out.
Yeah, I think. But what makes you go to jail? Does that mean you get caught on double top?
Oh, yes. Right? This is great.
Or parking at Pika Moose without a permit?
Ooh, that would be great if they added that in there.
Yeah, we should come up with our own Catskill Monopoly.
No, I don't want to.
We'll have mountain lions. We'll have nettle patches. It would be really fun.
I don't want to go.
Pretty sure it's copyrighted, but again, you can get it at the Catskill Visitor Center in Mount Tremper.
Nice. Check it out. That sounds pretty cool. So thank you, Tracy. So Mike, aka Catskill Mountains hiker, went up Westskill and completed his 3,500 challenge. Congratulations, Mike.
Yay!
Yes, good claps. Thank you, Mike, for tagging us. Awesome that you completed your 3,500 challenge. I heard he didn't do it the traditional way that everybody else does it. He bushwhacked straight up from Diamond Notch.
Yeah, I heard they hiked up a trail to Southwest Hunter, bushwhacked down to the Notch, and then up Westkill via bushwhack. That's a pretty tough route. I've done that several times, and it's one of those hikes that's so bad you can't get enough of it.
Right. It's got a lot of loose stone and rock and stuff like that. I mean, it's one of those areas.
Oh, and thick trees.
Yeah.
The trees are so thick that when you bushwhack up Southwest Hunter and you want to take a break, you can just lean back and the branches from the trees will hold you up, because not only are you like forcing yourself against the steepness of the vert, but you've got to like just try to bulldoze through these thick balsam branches, and it's rough.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely a definite challenge. So congratulations, Mike, once again. So also Quixotic, Lisa went up Westkill from the Devil's Tombstone. So is that the same? It's not the same way, right? Is it?
Yeah, I don't, so Devil's Tombstone is
on the other side of
213.
Sutter.
Yeah. Right. So she goes up the Devil's Path, down into Diamond Notch, presumably on Devil's Path, and then over to Westkill. I mean, look, that's that entire trail that she's on. If that's what she did, that's a great trail walk. And Mike Kudish will point out to you that part of that hike up from Devil's Tombstone takes you through a pretty rare and untouched area of the Catskill Forest.
Yeah, it's first growth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fantastic. So once again, getting that sense of just the forest is just phenomenal. So thanks, Lisa, for tagging the show. Also, Jeff Johnson Orla went up Friday in Balsam Cap and Rocky, found the B-25 bomber that's located in the absolute insane place that I've been to that is just crazy. And also met my friend David, which we call Dave Star, because unfortunately every time he goes out on a freaking hike, he has to rescue somebody. So he's his own search and rescue team. And he also met Joanne, which was Beyond Blazes, which is absolutely insane. I'm just like, once again, on these bushwhack hikes, you see somebody that you know from the podcast or stuff, and it's just insane. You're just like, hey, I know you from this, I know you from that. What a small world.
It is. Yeah. I saw Joanne. I met her going up Hunter, actually.
Nice. See?
Yeah.
Because of the podcast, did you know who she was, or you just knew her from Instagram?
Just Instagram stuff. Usually people don't know who I am unless Roxy's with me, and she wasn't with me, so I was surprised. I knew who she was immediately, and she was like, Diana. I'm like, oh my gosh. Somebody actually knows who I am without my dog with me. Usually they're like, Roxy.
Oh, you're let down. But that's awesome.
Nice. She's awesome.
We'll see. Social media connects us, and then social media destroys us as well. So,
yeah. But
Dave had a good chat with Jeff and Orla. He, once again, that B-25 bomber is tough to get to. I got to admit, I did that solo, and I don't think I'll ever do it solo again, because just of the rocks, the thickness and stuff. I'd have to say the boulders in that area coming down is one of the most significant boulder fields I have encountered in the Catskills.
You descended to it from like the little rim trail, or
I call it the tits and penis rot tree. They look like boobs. The tits tree where you turn up to go to Friday.
Oh, I get it.
And so you went down to it from there?
Yes.
Wow.
It's a very stupid idea at the time.
I could see doing it that way.
But then a lot of people go gradually from part of the rim trail and then go right into there. But then you got to vacate the same area, so you're screwed basically anyway. Yeah,
there's no easy way to get there. It's a pretty tough haul from any direction, whether you're kind of like side hilling to get there or dropping in and then side hilling out. You really got to want to see it to get over there.
True. So don't go over there unless you know what the hell you're doing, or if you have people with you.
Yeah.
So,
but it is worth the effort, Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. So we have Catskill Mountain hikers, and we have hiking the Catskills, aka Scott went up Balsam Eagle from Ryder Hollow. Definitely, that area is one of the most nettled places in the world besides Hawkett. And then he also went up Camel's Hump Thomas Cole from Black Dome, and Black Dome from Barnum Road. He's definitely got to reach out about the conditions. to see if he was satisfied, because I take care of Camel's Hump to Thomas Cole, and it's a very difficult area because the overgrowth happens within a freaking week. And I love it, but hate it at the same time. So thanks, Scott, for tagging the show. Once again, a Long Island hiker, Sean, just got over Pennsylvania from New Jersey. He is absolutely killing it on the Appalachian Trail. Following him on Instagram for his awesome journey. He posts stuff every day of his journey. Long Island hiker. So check him out. He is ripping it up, and he's going to be approaching New York soon. So good to see this stuff. You follow him, Tad, right?
Yeah. Check that out every day.
Yeah. He's always on there every day. So my name is Mischievous. Danny was checking out potholes somewhere. Didn't say where. Good point, because potholes are pretty cool when you're going in these river areas, seeing those potholes. Once again, the water hits one certain way, swirls around for thousands of years, and then comes out and makes this deep pothole that we get in 5 days in upstate New York on a regular road.
I saw that on his story, and I was like, potholes? I'm like, that's a really pretty one for a pothole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. We see those all the time on the frickin' roads, but these things take thousands of years to form.
Yeah, I'm going to say Danny is one of those people that just has like an uncanny and very expansive knowledge of all things outdoors.
Yeah, Danny's fun.
Yeah.
And he's, once again, he has the knowledge of history and stuff, and he wants to pursue more.
Yeah.
And like I said, people who came to that live showing, once again, got a taste of everything, and he loved it, which was fantastic. So, also Joanne did the Catskill 9 with Cammie. She ran into, once again, Dave, my friend Dave Sarr, in the middle of, I think it's Lone and Rocky, which was insane because, like he said, that was a tough area to navigate, but then he ran into people, which was insane. Talked with them once a lot about the recent search and rescue they had, because I think Joanne and Cammie was also involved in that rescue that they had over on Drybrook Ridge. So, and then Dave also ran into Jeff Jotz, which, once again, I can't believe they did that. But she crushed it, had amazing pictures. Joanne always does, as Diana does as well. You guys seriously crushed it with the pictures, and I'm just freaking jealous as heck. So we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about what you use.
Let my mouth now.
Yeah, it's probably going to be a cell phone, and I'm just like, God damn it, I'm quitting.
It blows my mind, like how much cell phones have changed over the years, because it makes me want to just like smash my camera a little bit. But I still love my camera. I'm a photographer at heart, but still. Anyways, talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll get to that right away. So buy us a hard pot cider to support the show. If you think we're doing a good job, definitely want to show us some support. Buy us a coffee hard cider. If it doesn't go towards the show, it goes right back in the Catskills. Also, rate the show, any platform. 5 stars is great. If you don't like the intro, don't rate it 1 star, rate it 5 stars, like some other people do. All right, what is everybody drinking? Diana, you went over what you're drinking, some tea.
Mm-hmm.
And Tad, what are you drinking?
Oh, let's not let Diana get off that easy with I'm drinking some tea. What you said it was green tea and water? What type of green tea?
Well, it's the very unhealthy Arizona green tea. It's like the only thing that refreshes me on these hot days.
Gotcha.
I mix it with water and make it feel a little healthier, but I walk Roxy, and it's still like 100 degrees, like hot soup outside. So when I come in, I need something cold.
Gotcha.
That's the only thing that hasn't increased in price inflation is Arizona iced tea. I understand that.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome. I mean, a lot of sugar, but
Yeah, they're the ones that have like the 99-cent cans. Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, some gas stations do have them at $2, but everything else is like $8.
Yeah. So you say they haven't increased in price, but has the can gotten smaller?
Nope. I forgot how many ounces it is. It's like 33.2 ounces or something.
So they got a lot of profit, packed into that size at 99 cents, I guess. All right. So tonight I am drinking just some cold brew coffee with more ice than I could initially fit in the cup, but it's chilling me down, which makes it worthwhile.
It has been humid.
Coffee now and still go to sleep at like a normal hour?
Right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, caffeine has zero effect on me. I think I became immune to coffee before I was 25, or immune to caffeine. Yeah, it just does nothing for me. So if you want to put me to sleep, just give me a little caffeine bounce, and 15 minutes later, I'm like out like a rock.
What time is the normal sleep time for you, Ted?
I don't have no normal sleep patterns.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, when you out in the woods, stalking mountain lions like I do at night, you can't sleep normally. So
okay, good point. But I am having a great Hudson North blueberry lemonade, of course. This is summertime.
We're hooked on those things, man. I think that was last week was another blueberry, whatever, Hudson
lemonade,
North.
Probably.
Yeah.
These are so good.
Is there a Surgeon General warning on the side that says,
dude, it's
use
so
of
many
this
ounces.
product is addictive?
It's so many ounces. That's why I think I choose it over others, because it's just so it's not that even much alcohol. It's only 5%. So like other stuff is like 6%, but this is it's just delicious, and it's nice and cold. It's summer.
Okay.
All right. So previous hikes. Ted, do you want to go over, and then Diana, you can go over yours, because I don't have much.
All right. So with the forecast over the 3 days I had to hike, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I went out on the cooler day. I went out on the 4th to hike the Burroughs Range. And so I dropped the Jeep off at the Slide Mountain parking lot. I got there right about 9 o'clock. I got off to a late start. So I got over there at 9, and I point that out because when I got there at 9, the parking lot was probably 105% full.
Wow.
And so thankfully, because I drive a 4x4, I was just able to back it into an area where, if you would listen to the show last week, it was an area where they plow in the winter off the road. And so there's like a pile of just gravel that they've plowed into the woods, but it's still somewhat overgrown. But I was able to back into that, stay out of everybody's way. I unloaded my bike and I rode down to Phoenicia, up Woodland Creek to the parking area. Proudly paid my $2 because I didn't drive a vehicle there. Stashed the bike in the woods and set out to do the Burroughs Range. It was a fantastic day to be out hiking on Friday. Humidity was very low. There was a decent breeze on, the initial hike up. I was getting hit with a lot of wind. There was a lot of people on the summit of Wittenberg hanging out. And then, as I cruised over to Cornell and then eventually to Slide, I'll have to say that while I didn't see anybody set up in those areas that they have reserved or marked or designated for camping, I ran into a lot of people that were out backpacking. Over the weekend, some people were just doing a one-nighter on the Burroughs Range. Other people were out for 2 nights and, ran into a couple people that had spent the night before in Giant Ledge, and we're coming over and we're going to finish up in Woodland Creek. So it was good to see all these people out backpacking. I will comment, though, everyone I saw backpacking had a ton of gear with them. It was just crazy the amount of stuff that they were carrying. And I did give some good intel to 2 people I ran into just as I was getting ready to go up Slide. They were also going in that direction, and they were looking for a place to camp out on the other side of Slide. So I told them to check out. Do you know where I told them to go, Stosh?
On the Curtis Ombry Trail.
Precisely. There's those campsites on the ledge over there, which is just a great place to hang out. It's so much better than going down into the valley over there by, what is it, the Wildcat Mountains? Is that what they're called?
Yeah, that's like the Curtis Ombry kind of goes into the Wildcats, though.
Yeah, and so there's camping spots right down there at the bottom of the Curtis Ombry. But
the monument, right near the monument, kind of.
Yeah. So there's water down there on the one hand, but on the other hand, there's no view
No,
down
not at all.
there. Yeah. So I told them to fill up their water at the spring before they got to the top of Slide, and then bang a left onto the Curtis Ormsby, showed them on the map where those camping spots were. And hopefully they followed that advice. And then interestingly, when I got to the summit of Slide, who did I run into?
Chimbound.
No. I ran into Danny Davis. Danny was up there talking to Caitlin DeWitt, who is one of those mountain stewards over there. So we had a fun conversation, and she, guess what? She is a listener to the podcast. So that was groovy.
Nice.
And yeah. And so then I offered Davis, because Davis was doing an out and back on the Burroughs Range. And I told him, hey, man, you don't have to go down and hike over Cornell and Wittenberg. You can just tag along with me and I'll give you a ride back to your car. And he wanted some more solitude time. So he headed back and said he ran into those two people that I told to hike or told to camp on the Curtis Ormsby, and, reiterated to them that would be a great place for them to hang out for the night. So I had a fun bike and hike on the Burroughs Traverse on the 4th of July. Oh, and there was a lot of people who were, wearing red, white, and blue out on the trail, which sparked some interesting conversation that I won't go into on the podcast.
Good call.
But let me just, no, I'm just kidding.
But I will speak out because no. Awesome. Sound like a good time. At least the wind was out because the bugs can be ferocious.
Yeah. So one of the things I thought of on that hike is, first of all, 0 ticks, 0 bugs for me. But I'm sensing that in a few weeks, it's going to be mosquito season.
It's getting there already, actually.
We've got lots of mosquitoes down here.
Yeah, lower elevations, yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be climbing up in elevation, so be prepared.
Good. Glad you had a good time. Once again, I got to do that. I don't think I've done the 3. I've done like the 6, but I haven't done those 3, the Burrow Range hike alone, because I need somebody else to jar with me to bring me back.
It's a great bike ride.
I have a BMX bike. I have a freaking mongoose. I don't think that would be.
I've done it on a mountain bike.
I'll jump off giant ledge and freaking do a 360 flip. Yeah, definitely. So I haven't been up to anything. I unfortunately been occupied the past couple weeks. The last couple weekends. So we'll see. Does Sunday we were going to plan on going hiking to a waterfall, but it just fell through, and then we went swimming because it was just an insane amount of heat up at Jessica's parents' house. So that's nothing to be talking about. Diana, what were you previously doing? You want to talk about previous hikes?
Well, I haven't been hiking as much because I've been tending to my dog, but probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I hiked Hunter for the first time. I can't believe I had never done it before, honestly. I feel like I planned to do it 4 different times, and plans always fell through. One time we couldn't get up there with the snow, and there was all kinds of things going on. So that was really cool. I hadn't gone hiking up in the Catskills or done any of the fire towers in a while. Yeah, we went up the old carriage road, is it?
On Hunter? Yeah, Spruceton?
Yeah, we went up that way and came down by Diamond Notch Falls. It was beautiful. Yeah, and we didn't get much of a view. I mean, we still got to see a view from the fire tower because it was kind of raining on and off and a little bit cloudy, but every once in a while we could see a couple of views in between the clouds, so that was nice. And lots of mushrooms on the way, which I like to stop and take pictures of, so that was cool. And yeah, and then locally just have been taking my dog for swims at our local lakes, and she's been enjoying it, so.
Yeah, cooling off in this hot weather. Now, when you went up to the Hunter Fire Tower, did you go over to the John Robley to check out that spot?
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you an honest story. And
oh, hell yeah.
Everybody makes mistakes. So my coworker told me to make sure I check out the lean-to, and I was like, oh yeah, great. And we wanted to see the view, and of course it was really foggy. We couldn't see much of a view. But on the way back, I don't know how we got like turned around. I think we must have hit a camping area over there, past the lean-to on the way back, and somehow we lost the trail going back to the main trail. And we actually ended up bushwhacking through those trees there.
Nice.
To get back to the main trail. And it just reiterated how much I hate bushwhacking. And we were like literally parallel to the main trail the entire time. I'm like, why can't we get to this trail? This is insane. But there was just so much thick brush and trees in between there. It took us like a good 10, 15 minutes to get back to the trail. But yeah, it just goes to show how easily you can get lost, even if you're an experienced hiker. And I could see the trail on my map, 2 feet away from me. So
That'll happen.
You might have gotten disorientated or off on the wrong foot because you kind of go through that boulder maze to get out to the lean-to.
And we did that on the way in, and there was a couple of footpaths too. I think that, and I was looking for the trail markers, and I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. There's no trail markers, but there's a camping marker here. A little confusing. But yeah, it happens to the best of us. I was like, whatever, we made it back to the trail. But it was a funny story because my friends and I are experienced hikers. And this is hilarious that on a 10-minute offshoot, we're lost and we can't get back to the main trail, bushwhacking through. But that's what happens.
Yeah, well, so long as no one lost an eye.
Yeah.
No ticks either. So that was good.
And those whippets, I call them whippets, like those what are they called, Tad, that just hang over like that, they're mostly up on Big Indian and Fir. They're just the hanging trees that just hang like that. They're just droops that whip back and forth on the person that comes behind you. Those are a pain in the ass. God, what are those? I forgot what those are called. I'm an idiot. Sorry.
Yeah. And we ran into Joanne right after that on the trail, and it was so funny. I'm sweating, dripping, and I'm like, oh my gosh, hi. No, we didn't get just lost. No, that's never happened.
And she was all calm, cool, and collected, not sweating,
Just hopping down, do-do-do-do-do.
That's Joanne.
That's Joanne, yeah. She's always killing it. So good. Glad hopefully you get back up there, definitely to enjoy the view, because that's, Hunter is one of those views that just, I'd have to say, offers a 360 perspective of everything. I think you can see the most of the Catskill summit from the fire tower up there.
Yeah, it's supposedly the second highest, right?
Yes,
second slide.
Yeah. Well, and also that hike from the fire tower over to Devil's Acre is fantastic.
Yeah. And if you don't just do the Fire Tower Road back and forth, you get a sense of the Fire Tower Road. And then you, like you said, you did back to Diamond Notch down to the Wesco Falls. You get that sense of going up the road and then down an actual path. So
yeah, it was beautiful. The forest, the foggy forest was just what it was. Quiet. We didn't see another person after that. It was that's what I like. Quiet forest, foggy forest. Beautiful. And I can't wait to go back there in the winter. I think it's so funny that I was talking to the stewards up there. One of our stewards were up there too. And I was like, it's so crazy that the two highest peaks in the Catskills are the easiest hikes, really, when you think about it, compared to the other hikes in the Catskills that I've done. It's it's interesting. You get these beautiful views.
Yeah. Phenomenal views. I still think Slide is one of the best views in the Catskills. It feels like you're at the top of the world there. So
yeah, it's my favorite winter hike. It's Narnia up there.
It is. It definitely is. 100% agree. All right. So Catskill news, that Saturday, August 30th is the annual lighting of the fire towers. Tad, thank you for entering this, because I always enjoy this. Once again, if there's any view of a fire tower, you can go there. I remember seeing them one time. I think I went to Giant Ledge and I got to see Overlook, Tremper, and was it Hunter at the same time? And I had no clue that it was going on because we just got off of a search and rescue mission from Wittenberg and we decided to night hike Giant Ledge. And I'm like, why are these areas still lit up in the middle of nowhere? And then I looked it up and I was like, wow, it's the fire tower event. It was pretty cool. And once in a while, I'll go up to Mount Unsianta, which I can drive up to near Stanford. It's 40 minutes away, or just look at that area from a different perspective and see Unsianta and I don't think I can see anything else. I think it's just Mount U lit up. So very awesome time. And if you want to go up to any fire towers, great people that volunteer during this time to do this. And it's one of those spectacles that you can, it's just, wow, awesome. Night hiking. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's an exciting one.
Yeah. And they have that down towards the Hudson Valley, like is Beacon and stuff like this. Everybody's lit up, right?
I don't know if they do it in the Hudson Valley. I've only heard about it in the Catskills, the Adirondacks. It is a New York State thing, though, I believe. I think it's across New York State.
Yeah, I think it's done in more places than just the Catskills, but
like Stillwater, Beacon. What is that other one? Ferncliff Forest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully they have that all over there. That'd be, once again, you just get one of those viewpoints that you can see either a fire tower or multiple, and you can see these lit up, and it's absolutely fantastic. So August 30th, put it on your list of night hiking. Once again, you need night hiking gear. You need a headlamp, stuff like that. Definitely do it. Giant Ledge is a great area to go. I suggest that, or any fire towers. You can meet some volunteers, climb up to the top and look at other fire towers.
Can I mention something else that's happening in August?
Hell yeah, do it.
We're doing Hike for the Catskills. I don't know if you've heard of that before. The Catskill Center does it. Have either of you done it?
I have.
I think Mo Lemire does that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Every year. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a month-long fundraiser that we do at the Catskill Center, and I'll be hitting up everyone I know that loves hiking in the Catskills, because it'll be sort of like a hike-a-thon style fundraiser where you sign up and you fundraise for however many hikes you want to do. There's no limit. You can do 1 mile, 100 miles, totally up to you. But it's a month-long event. We'll have prizes and all kinds of fun events. At the end of it, we're going to have a party at the Westkill Brewery on actually August 30th. So there'll be more information about that. You can check it out on our website. And I hope you guys join. I'll be doing a guided hike. We'll have a list of guided hikes for that as well. It'll be cool. And,
where's your guided hike?
I think I haven't completely, well, I guess this is sort of like breaking news then, because it isn't out yet, but I think my guided hike is going to be a sunrise hike at Giant Ledge, because I love sunrise hikes. And I know a lot of people that I talk to and interact with, a lot of my hiker friends want to do sunrise hikes, but they don't have a lot of people to go with, or they're not comfortable going on their own. So it'd be nice to have a little group together and raise some money at the same time for the Catskill Center for all the wonderful work we do there.
It's like I'm calling out August 30th.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's not the day that my guided hike will be. We'll get that information out, but we're doing guided hikes throughout the month. So
okay,
my guided hike will be a different date, but I will let you know when.
Please. Also, thank you. I will put that in the show notes. It'll be available for everyone. So hike for the Catskills, for the Catskill Center.
Yeah.
Awesome. Also, volunteer 3500 Club, Catskill Trail Crew, Catskill Mountains Club, the Catskill Visitor Center, Jolly Rovers Trail Crew, Bramley Mountain Fire Tower. Volunteer wherever you can. It helps out a lot. Also, if you need stickers, get a hold of me. Go to Camp Catskill in Tannersville, and you can get some free stickers. It's easy. I will send you it for free. Freaking get a hold of me. So, weather this weekend. Once again, it looks like summer weather all throughout the whole weekend.
Just say humid.
You know what? It says the humidity is pretty high. It's 86% throughout the whole weekend.
Ouch.
With it on Sunday hitting 90%. So basically, we're going to feel like Georgia. So Friday looks to be kind of a little bit of rain in the morning with thunder showers in the afternoon. Typical summer weather. Same things happen Saturday and Sunday. The temperatures range from 64 to 63. We're not hitting any crazy highs and stuff like that. So you're going to be in and out of okay weather with rain. So it's any summer day. It seriously says Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is the same exact pattern. A little bit of rain in the morning with thunder showers in the afternoon. Accumulation of rain is barely under a half an inch. So
bring lots of water. That's what I'm hearing.
Bring freaking atrocious amounts of water.
Just bring a tanker truck with you.
Last question before we get into the last set of sponsors. With these hot days, Diana, how many liters of water do you go through on a decent long kind of hike?
Oh my gosh. I don't even know. I usually fill up like a 2-liter water bag,
Like a bladder?
Water bladder, yeah. And then I also carry probably about another 2 liters in a water bottle, depending on what I'm doing, really. But I don't like hiking long hikes in the heat. That's why I do sunrises. So I generally would do like longer hikes in the morning, so I don't need as much. My biggest issue has always been doing longer hikes with my dog because she needs water, a lot of water, and we won't do hikes in the heat either. She's like a winter dog, so we do a lot of hikes in the winter with her. In the summer, it's like short, 3-4 miles at the most, and there has to be a lake somewhere. So
Okay. Well, cool. I'm very curious. Everybody has their different, Ted, I'm scared to ask you what you go through in these humid times because I've been with you on winter hikes and you take like a sip of water and it's insane.
Yeah. And so that all flips upside down in the summer. And from all my years of racing bicycles, I got to know really well how I dehydrate and need to stay hydrated in the summertime. And so just as an example, it wasn't really hot this past weekend, but I was packing 3 liters of water and I went through maybe 2 liters of it, which I was surprised. Yeah, I didn't use all that much. But the other thing I'll say is I'm very conscientious about using electrolyte supplements the whole time. Right from I use either a Gatorade powder that I mix during the day or those hydration tablets, like the effervescent hydration tablets, and I bring some electrolyte tablets to pop like pills.
Good point.
Yeah, that combination works for me.
Yeah.
But it's also it's important. You got to stay ahead of the curve. And so one of my tips is before you set out on your hike in the parking area, the last thing you ought to do is down 8 or 12 ounces because you're not going to carry that weight. You're going to hydrate before you leave the parking area. So top off and then set out on your hike.
Yeah. So when I did Table Mountain and it was like the start was 84 degrees at 7 a.m. So.
And that was 2 weeks ago, right? When
yes.
It was hot and humid. That was a hot and humid day.
That was stupid of me, but I still did it. I had 3 liters of water that had ice in it. And then I had a side of Smart Water bottle that was a liter that was half ice and then half water and electrolytes. And then I had another thing on the side that was Powerade, straight up Powerade. And I basically went through almost all of it on the way down, on the way up and the way down. And I was drained probably just to a little bit on the way back. So I go through a lot of water. People think I'm insane for the small hikes that I will take on 5 liters of water, but you never know. A lot of people don't like bladders because they, you use more than you think and stuff. Mm-hmm. But, I also, once again, I'm done with that bladder. I have my side pockets here to gauge of where I'm at. And you know what? I don't mind drinking that Catskill water that's on the side. I've never gotten Gardia yet.
Yet.
Yet. That's just like Jesus. Yet.
No, it all depends where you fill up at. After all, it is the water supply of the city of New York and many other communities. And when you look at it, it surely does look crystal clear. And I don't know if you remember, but when we had Danny on from Mighty Mischievous, I had that little flask of Catskill water, and it's still sitting over there in my office at home, crystal clear.
Nice.
It's going on 2 years old now.
Jesus,
nothing's growing in it. So
wow, amazing.
Maybe it's all the radiation in my house or something that prevents that from happening. But maybe I have like a radon problem. I don't know.
Probably. So yeah, I was just very curious. I'm curious of what people carry, and everybody's different, of course. So
I always make sure I have extra water for dogs, like other people's dogs, not my dog, because I get real frustrated very easily when I see people on the trail with like a German Shepherd and it's like 90 degrees out and they have like one tiny little bottle of water. I end up offering water to their dogs like immediately. That's pretty much why I carry a lot of water, just because I get really frustrated with, those situations. But
Yeah,
I
definitely.
should be offering it to people too, but I'm like, oh.
The dog is more important and it's more loving.
Yeah, the dog didn't choose to go hiking.
Exactly.
Correct. Once again, why we need communication between dogs and that's sick and tired. All right.
Right back at it.
Yeah. All right. So last set of sponsors and then we'll get to Diana. This is once
Ooh,
again.
can I read this sponsor?
Yes.
I love the
Please.
Trailbound Project.
Oh my God, this is great. Oh my God, this is the greatest moment of my life. Go ahead.
They're great guys. They're a great group in general. Discover the wilderness with Trailbound Project. Our expert-led hiking and backpacking education programs offer unparalleled outdoor experiences. Whether you're a beginner or seasoned adventurer, join us to learn essential skills, explore stunning trails, and connect with nature. Start your journey today with Trailbound Project and unlock the wonders of the great outdoors. And I have to say, I've done a couple of their classes, and they're great. I mean, they keep you engaged the whole time. They have wonderful stories. So I would definitely suggest taking their classes.
Agreed. Scott and Joe are amazing. They're well trained and they just offer so much that I agree with you 100%. So thank you for doing that once again. Ted, how about you discover Camp Catskill in Tannersville?
No, I'm going to decline because now how can I follow that? It's
I can do this too because I like Camp Catskill. I mean, I like all your sponsors, but I'm a fan of Camp Catskill as well. All right, discover Camp Catskill in Tannersville, your ultimate hiking store. Find top quality gear, apparel, and accessories for all your outdoor adventures. Our expert staff is here to help every hiker, from beginners to seasoned pros. We also carry a variety of unique Catskill souvenirs and gifts. Visit us online at Camp Catskill or in the store to gear up for your next journey. Adventure starts at Camp Catskill.
Wow. I'm out of here. I'm done.
Yeah. All right. So here's the keys to the show. We're going to take the rest of the summer off. We'll catch you in the fall.
That's fantastic. I enjoyed that. Gratefully to not be pressured to do that and rush through it.
You should make all your visitors do that. This way, it's like different choices, and
I like doing that. Kind of like just to make it more real instead of like putting it in there as a post thing and stuff like that. You know, just I don't know, just to make it feel more real, and it shows that I care about my sponsors, and they really do. These guys are amazing. Once again, you said everybody, Outdoor Chronicles Photography, Camp Catskill, Trailbound Project, and another summit. You know, they all care for the show. They all sponsor the show. And once again, it goes back in the Catskills and it's fantastic. So thank you, Diana, for doing that. That was amazing.
Anytime.
All right. So let's get on to the guests of the night. Let's go. So Diana, aka Nature Addict Lady from Instagram, also from the Catskill Visitor Center, is going to chat with us about her hiking adventures, hiking with dogs, hiking photography. She is all over the freaking place, as you already heard with her mustache that she just went. And she's not even, the funny thing is she's not even drinking alcohol. What's your key? You're just happy all the time?
No, definitely not. I think I have a nervous smile. So when I get nervous, I like smile big. So I kind of cover it up with my braid. That's why I have a braid, just to cover up my smile.
I love it. So she's going to be talking to us tonight about her adventures in Catskills, Hudson Valley, stuff like that. And also about mostly, you know, her photography and hiking with dogs. It's very important to take these measures with hiking with dogs because, once again, we can't speak to them. We can't tell how they're doing. Diana has kind of aced this with hiking with Roxy and for a long time has kind of gotten to know how to hike with dogs and stuff. And we're going to take that next step tonight. I mean, we talked about this with Alan Villa, but I don't know if we went to the extreme measures as this. So Diana, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm really happy to be here.
Yeah. Thanks for shooting the shit with us. That was fun. That was great.
It was. I learned a lot. I love listening to your shooting the shit stuff because I learn.
Well, thank you.
Excellent.
Yeah. So give us a little background about yourself.
Well, I was a former teacher. I taught for 15 years and, I grew up mostly in the Hudson Valley in Rockland County and in Mahwah, New Jersey in Bergen County. So I've kind of been in the Hudson Valley area my whole life. I don't know if I should start into my
Do
Yeah.
as long as you want. Do as much as you want.
I know. I'm like, I'm not very good about talking about myself, so I won't go on a rant or anything. But yeah, I guess I was a teacher for 15 years, and when it was time for me to leave education, I decided I wanted to do something else where I'm helping. I'm a helper at heart. That's just kind of who I am. And so I started working for another nonprofit called the Fungi Foundation, and I helped them launch a free mycological curriculum internationally. And that was a lot of fun, really interesting. I learned a lot about fungi, the importance of fungi in the ecosystem. And I really wanted kids to learn about it too, because as a teacher, we didn't teach much about it. And I think it's a really important thing for kids to learn about. And then, unfortunately, as nonprofits do, they lost funding, and I lost that position. And as I was looking for a new position, the Catskill Center opened up a position for a communications associate, and luckily I got the job. I've always been a big supporter of the Catskill Center. I've made some connections there over the years with other volunteer situations that I've been in. So I was really excited about that. And that's sort of like my, job history, I guess. And then other than that, I'm a dog mom, not a kid mom. It's just me and Roxy. And I've been a dog mom for 10 years. And I've learned a lot. She's the first dog I've ever had. I had cats before her, but growing up, I didn't have any animals like that. My mom was so-called allergic, so we didn't get to have that. So I've always been an animal rights advocate, and I've always loved animals and wildlife. So the second I moved out, second I got in college, I immediately got, cats right away. And then as my cats got older, it was time to get a dog. And I thought it was going to be so easy because, dogs are fun and easy and great. And they'll do anything. They'll jump in the car. They'll eat whatever they want, and everything is going to be fine. And then I learned really quickly that's not how things go. So I learned a lot with her, and we both kind of learned and grown. And and other than that, I do photography, landscape photography mostly. And I've been doing that since I was a little girl. Always had a disposable camera in my hand, and that turned into an SLR where I was developing film, and then got really fancy because technology grew. We got DSLRs, which is even cooler. Now we can do digital photography, and kind of grown from there. So
a lot of people don't know what DSLR means. Digital single lens reflex.
yes.
I have a DSLR as well, but I haven't used it in years. So
Yeah, it's amazing. When you go from an SLR is a single lens reflex, yeah.
Yep.
And you have to actually be in a dark room to develop your film and then get to a DSLR. It's like magic, like pure magic. You feel like a wizard or a fairy or something, because you're like, wow, I could just look at these pictures rather than spending 4 hours in the dark room to get one good picture, developed.
Yep.
So
what got you into hiking and stuff like that? What got you naturally into hiking? Because you say you're a teacher, you got into fungi. Did that kind of the fungi area kind of propose you into hiking as well?
Not really, actually. I was kind of always connected to nature when I was a young girl, but it wasn't I didn't hike a lot with my parents. My parents weren't campers or hikers. I didn't learn any of that from them, but my grandmother, grandfather were kind of into photography stuff. So I did learn a little bit of that from them. And just connections with nature. I liked looking at the clouds and playing in the grass and looking at bugs and, really trying to figure things out and living things. I was the girl that when you found out that you were eating a cow with a hamburger, I was appalled. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe my parents didn't tell me this. I didn't want to hurt anything, whether it be an ant or a cow. So that kind of started my connection with nature. I just felt more, calm and at home, surrounded by nature and animals. And then that kind of grew, as I turned into a teenager. We had some local trails. We used to sort of escape into the woods for other reasons and have some fun. I was never a litter bug. I was always the one yelling at people and collecting everybody's litter. But, that's kind of what you did at that age when we didn't have technology as much growing up. So we would kind of explore. And then I got into landscape photography a little bit more in college. And I learned a little bit more about developing my own film and how to take pictures. And that just kind of spurred into like more, enjoyment in the outdoors and hiking. Landscape photography and hiking really go hand in hand. And then after college, I started actually hiking and following trailblazers. I actually learned what a trailblaze was. I didn't even know. I mean, I used to get lost on trails around here all the time just because we'd just be like, let's go in the woods. We didn't have maps or phones or anything like that. And then try to find our way back. And it was kind of nice to get lost sometimes. We never had to get rescued, thank goodness, knock on wood. But yeah, that's kind of how I learned how to hike. And then I learned to go into bigger trails. I needed to understand it a little bit more. And then when I was a teacher, hiking sort of became like a mental health thing for me. Teaching was really stressful. I tend to get very emotionally attached to certain situations and can't let things go. Like, when you go home and you sign off, I couldn't like sign off mentally as a teacher. So hiking became more of like a mental break for me and just getting into the woods and forgetting about things, not looking at my emails or worrying about the kids and things like that. So it became sort of a necessity, honestly. And then as I started hiking, my local trail is right next to the New York, New Jersey Trail Conference home base. And I found out there were some volunteer opportunities and I started volunteering with them. And I met other people that like to hike. And it was like, oh, wow, I have other friends now that want to hike, so I could try new trails with them. And then I joined hiking groups and I started volunteering with another organization called Gear Forward, where we collected gently used gear to give to children. And we ended up selling that gear to get kids outside from inner city schools and different areas where kids normally wouldn't get outside. And yeah, so started this whole hiking community that I didn't have before. So I had more confidence to try new trails. And that's just sort of how things expanded. I made more connections that way to the outdoor community. And that was probably about 10, 15 years ago. And ever since then, things have gotten better and better. Once I got Roxy, it just was 10 years ago. That was it. We were hikers through and through.
Very cool. So before we move on, though, Diana, because I know we have a number of listeners who are teachers. Why don't you just give us the QT on your teaching background, if you don't mind?
Sure. I taught first grade for about 10 years in two different districts. One was a charter school. One was a different district, a public school district. Charter schools are public schools, but it was a little bit more inner city. And then I taught fifth grade for about 5 years.
Oh, wow. So you're beginners, and then it was fifth grade to high school, correct?
Just fifth grade. Yeah, I didn't teach high school, but fifth grade.
Well, fifth graders go into high school. I mean, where I lived, middle of nowhere, right? So
they go into like middle school here. Yeah.
Yes.
That's when puberty happens and they get an attitude. And
God, that's why, I was curious about that, because I'm just like, she had to get out in nature. So there's got to be that certain age group that you're just like, fuck you guys. I got to get out of here. I'm out.
What's crazy? It wasn't the kids. I had this thing where I was good with the so-called bad kids. So my class was always a perfect storm every year. And the kids weren't the issue. Like they were kids. They were figuring life out, that's what I signed up for as a teacher. Like I knew those were the problems. That's what I wanted to help with. It was the administration. It was the parents. It was the laws that kept changing, the politics that got involved. Like at one point it was like you weren't really teaching anymore. It was just like assessing over and over again, giving kids anxiety and which, in turn gives you anxiety because you're not there to hurt them. You want to help them. And then watching the problems they go through and not being able to solve them. It's just, that's where I had the most, issues, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. That's the way, I mean, I'm not a teacher, but that's the way I've heard it is just, you're there to help, but everything's get pushed on you because once again, you're trying to make these kids a different person to make them kind of love and respect everything, but unfortunately, one problem is pushed on you because you didn't teach it a certain way that they told you to. And you're just like, well, I understand. So glad you had a good time and glad that you did it the way you did. So now, how did you evolve up into the Catskills area? You were hiking in the Hudson Valley somewhat. I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, I hate to say it, but all people in the Hudson Valley get lost on trails all the time, and then they evolve into trailblazers. So that's good. That's how it happens in the Hudson Valley. So how did you get involved in the Catskills area stuff?
Well, these hiking groups that I joined, a lot of them were like women's hiking groups and things like that. They would hike in the Catskills and be like, oh, you'd have to try this and try this. And I really didn't have the confidence. I was like, I don't think I can handle that. Like, I researched these hikes and there wasn't as much online, then as there is now. And they just sounded really scary to me. But going with groups and having some friends push me and having more experienced hikers around me kind of gave me a little bit more confidence to try hikes in the Catskills. And my aunt got a condo in Roxbury, and it's like, yeah, it was, and she got it at the time where Roxbury was like nothing, so and she always told me and my cousins, I have a huge family, like 15 cousins, and come up, and nobody ever wanted to go. And I was like, you know what, I'll give it a try. And that was it. I was hooked. And I told my cousins they should never go there because it's terrible, so that I could go every time that she, had the house open or the condo open. It was amazing. I mean, we used to go there literally every time it was open because I could bring my dog too. My friends could bring their dogs. She was fine with that. And that's really how I got into the Catskills. I was able to stay there, and the Western Catskills was probably the area that we tackled the most first. And then we kind of branched out into like the Northeastern and the Southeastern a little bit more. But yeah, that's what I would just research hikes, and a friend of mine and I would take our dogs hiking, and then we met friends through these groups. We meet them hiking, and it just kind of spurred from there.
Was this all through like social media and the internet?
Pretty much, yeah. Except for the volunteer groups. It all started really when I started volunteering with the New York, New Jersey Trail Conference, honestly. And people there were the ones that told me about these groups online that I didn't even know about because I wasn't really big into Instagram. I didn't really, I didn't even know that much about the trail conference back then, even though like I lived in the town of their home base. So like it didn't make much sense. But yeah, then that's how I got into Instagram more and actually like posting my pictures more and finding these communities. And now I've made friends through Instagram. I've made dog parent friends, has like this great community of people, photography friends, hiking friends. I give it a lot of credit for where I am now.
Yeah. Well, I'll just point out that you only have 9,396 followers on Instagram.
Only.
So, yeah. So I'll call that a good start, sarcastically.
Still under 10K. So it's like nothing.
Undertake.
So tell us if you remember some of the names of these hiking groups that helped you get kicked off into your hiking endeavors. So, anyone who's out there that's listening to this that is looking for a group to go out and explore with, they can check out one of these groups that helped Diana along her way.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, they're not as active as they used to be. I joined Women Who Hike, and yeah, they aren't as active as they used to be, but they used to have these hiking. I made friends with a couple of people that were ambassadors for them, and they used to have these planned hikes. And honestly, when COVID hit, a lot of these hiking groups kind of just dissipated because of all the issues that went along with that. But yeah, and different hiking groups, are tailored to different people and their needs. So I would just suggest for anyone to research. There are so many different hiking groups out there now. There's like the Hudson Valley hikers. They hike everywhere. I know a lot of their hikes are a little bit fast or a little bit more for like, speed and distance sometimes. So you just want to check the kind of hike they're doing. I don't generally hike with those kinds of groups just because I stop and take a lot of pictures and my dog too. So, but that's what I mean. Everybody has their different needs. And also just people through Instagram, people have asked me to hike before and I've met them that way, usually with another friend there just in case, because you don't want to just go meet strangers on Instagram. So that's kind of been other ways that I branched out. And then just volunteering. I would say volunteering is really how you can make a lot of connections without realizing that that's going to bring you to your people. So volunteering with the trail conference, the Catskill Center. Unfortunately, the place that I used to volunteer with Gear Forward is no longer an organization. But anything that you feel drawn to, I would definitely suggest volunteering with an organization that supports that.
Cool. Yeah. So other than your Hudson Valley hiking terrain, getting into the Catskills, where else have you gone and done some hiking? In the Adirondacks, the Whites, the Green Mountains, which kind of seem to be overlooked around here. Where else have you gone, and what have your experiences been here and there?
Yeah, I've been to a lot of places in Vermont and New Hampshire, but mostly the Adirondacks was sort of where I branched out the most, because a lot of my photography friends also go up there. So it's been kind of like another connection to explore and do different types of photography, like astrophotography and things like that. I learned through a lot of friends, and going up there, they have the best dark areas in this area that I can think of. So yeah, mostly the Adirondacks. And so some of the women from the groups that I hiked with and the places that I volunteered with, we've sort of become a group ourselves, like we call ourselves a little wolf pack, wandering women wolf pack. That was a night that we did have some wine coolers and came up with some good names.
Nice.
So we'll just, message everybody. Everybody's got lives. Some people have kids. Some people, have different things going on. But if like 5 or 6 of us can get together, it's great. And we'll go to Vermont or New Hampshire or the Adirondacks or the Catskills. But we're all from all over. So we don't generally get to hike like on the regular. It has to be sort of like a trip to meet each other, because some are from Pennsylvania, some are from upstate New York, some are from like the Adirondacks area. So, and one of them's in Germany, and she left us completely.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So with getting together with your Wolfpack group, are you backpacking?
We used to. We haven't gone in a couple of years, actually. We were just talking about that, how we need to do that again. We haven't gone in like over 2 years now. But we were backpacking a little bit, only single night backpacking. We didn't do like multiple nights. And I had just gotten into it. And it was funny when you were talking earlier about the people that had so much gear. I was definitely that person. Like, I am totally the overpacker. And I don't know.
I'm still that person.
It's so hard. Like, I get such anxiety about not having certain things. And especially with my dog. Oh my gosh, I packed more. One time we went camping by Peekamoose, and it was before the permits. And we went backpacking over there. We hiked up to Peekamoose and to Table. And then we came back down. We're setting up our tents, and I forgot my sleeping bag. But I had a little blanket for Roxy. So she was covered. And it was in the spring, so it went from like, 60 degrees to like 25 degrees at night, and I was freezing.
Wow.
Yeah, I learned very quickly to never forget my...
Roxy was okay.
Oh, she was fine. She also left me in the middle of the night. I was trying to cuddle her and stay warm together. We heated up some water in an Nalgene bottle, and she left me, and she went into my friend's sleeping bag with her and just left me to die on my own.
So whatever. I can handle this on my own.
Yeah. We see her lying in the corner of the screen. She's not moved by this story either.
Oh yeah, I see her plop down. It's beautiful. That's what my dog Dahlia is probably doing downstairs right now in the air conditioning. She just loves it. Yeah,
especially this time of night. It's like night time, and she's on gabapentin. That helps too. So
hey, that's actually what I'm at. Jeez. All right, so we talk about your photography. Let's get into your photography. So once again, a while back got into photography. I started doing astrophotography at first and then landscape. So you need to kind of jump into it really far to do astrophotography, of course, because you need a DSLR, and you need to know your shit with astrophotography. So what did you start out with and evolve into with your photography gear and such? Because it doesn't, you can't just you can do it kind of with landscape, but you need to have that eye that you can catch that sort of photograph with. So what did you start out with your photography ways?
Yeah, so I actually started, I guess, like actually learning about photography in college, and that's when I had the SLR, and I only took a few classes. It wasn't my major or anything, but I remember the teacher saying that I did not have the eye, and I was like, they were very critical, and
that's harsh.
She was like, the only way you'll make money as a photographer is as like a autopsy photographer or something like that. I remember saying something like that, and I was like, I want to take pictures of dead people.
Yeah. Is that professor still alive after a comment like that? Right? Did you say, yeah, and you're going to be my first subject? Right.
Yeah. Is that Dexter Morgan that told you that or something like that?
She's probably right. I bet you they make a lot of money. Maybe that's what she meant by that. But, you know, as a college person, and plus it wasn't my major, but it hurt inside. I was like, I thought I took pretty good pictures.
Yeah. Wow.
But also she was directing you on things you had to take pictures of for depth of field and certain things, because she was teaching you about photography. And it was hard for me to like fit into a box. You know, like I like to take pictures of things that I like to take pictures of. I can see a scene and I want to take that scene, and I want this in that corner, and I'm not going to use the rule of 3 every single time or anything like that, you know? So I think it's really important for people that are into photography to remember that you're not going to be great at taking pictures of all the things. Like maybe there is something that's more, you know, just for you because you have the eye for that, you know?
Yeah, well, that's the only way you're going to stand out is by being different.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So what was your like first lens that you grabbed?
So that was just like the kit lens, and I did take pretty bad pictures with that camera, I'm not gonna lie. But then later on, a friend of mine who was a photographer gave me his old DSLR. It was the first time I ever used a DSLR. This was like in my mid-20s. He gave me a Canon T3, and it had like an 18 to 55 millimeter kit lens on there as well. And I just learned how to use that. I mean, I didn't know much. Even using it on a tripod, it was still blurry. Like I didn't know much about the shutter or anything. So I had to sort of learn by my mistakes, you know, over and over again. I didn't shoot in RAW for a while. I shot in JPEG, and it was pretty bad for a while. But then I learned.
It's a Rebel, right?
Yes.
I remember that.
Is that what you had?
I have a D5200.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I haven't used it in probably, I don't know, like 3 or 4 years. So sorry, but yes,
You're a Canon.
I am. Yes.
And see, that's always interesting. People are always asking me, like, do you prefer Canon or Nikon or Sony? And I tried to switch to Sony at some point for like astrophotography. It's supposed to be a lot better and everything, and I just couldn't. I'm like a Canon person at heart. And I think whatever you're comfortable shooting with is the kind of camera that you need. That's what I tell people. I'm like, you know, try some different ones out and see what you're comfortable with. I'm comfortable with Canon. I like the interface. I'm comfortable with it. I know how it goes.
So I'm a Nikon. I'm a Nikon. D5200 was a Nikon.
Oh, the Nikon.
Yeah. I was just like T3 Rebel was a Nikon, right?
No, Canon.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm
T3. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm a Nikon kind of guy.
Well, then that's what you like. That's good.
So, and you're a Canon?
I'm a Canon girl. Always.
Tad, what are you?
Oh boy. So I'm like out there in left field. I shoot with a micro 4/3 Olympus camera, now OM system, because they got spun off and bought out. But I find for hiking, it's small.
Yes.
I'm not going to say it's all that much lighter, but it is lighter and it's small. It's more compact. And so the best thing about shooting with what I shoot with is you can buy a camera that's 1 or 2 generations old on eBay, get it dirt cheap so you don't care if it gets dropped and ruined on the trail. Okay. It's almost pocket change. And then, you know, there's a ton of lenses out there. And the nicest thing about the micro 4/3 is the backward compatibility with older Olympus stock. So when I really want to get adventuresome shooting with my camera, I got a ton of old lenses that I can use, right down to all fully manual stuff. So
yeah, but can you use that on online and stuff like that? Are there any apps that you can edit that stuff with? Or
you're all the you're saving the file in whatever format you want. You can do whatever editing that you want to do with it. But to me, the beauty with using some of the old equipment, and I did this with my daughters when they were growing up, they had, affordable digital cameras, but had fully manual mode on them, right down to focusing. So it's easy to click off like 10 shots without really thinking about it. But all of a sudden, when you have to frame and focus and set your aperture and all that stuff, now you really get into that moment. And I think it hones your skills. So they both, growing up, we'd go around with their little cameras and have fun taking photos.
Yeah.
So I think it developed their creativity. So I'm going to take a little credit for that.
Yeah.
Maybe 5%. So
definitely. And Diana, with doing astrophotography, your skills go from 0 to like 90 with that. Because number one, with me doing astrophotography, I had to do a lot of research. I had to have a lot of books. With that, I had to have a lot of goddamn patience, because there was so much that you needed to learn to get that picture perfect without not even editing, like afterwards. Just getting that picture perfect from the lens is just absolutely insane. So can you chat about your astrophotography, like thoughts and lessons that you had? It's frustrating, isn't it? But it's absolutely, in the end, it's magical.
Oh yeah, I definitely learned from a lot of mistakes when it came to astrophotography. I feel like that's sort of where I really blossomed over the past few years, because I wasn't really used to shooting astro, and I didn't really have any friends that shot astro at the time. So like it was all kind of new to me. I didn't even know I was supposed to like turn off my lens stabilizer, so everything was all shaky all the time, and it was pretty terrible for the first like year or two I tried astro. But once I upgraded to a different camera, a mirrorless, now I shoot with a Canon RP, and the lenses are different. The lenses, I realized, are more important than the camera in a lot of situations. So that's sort of like where I spend my money mostly, is on lenses.
Yep.
So that I learned over the years. And then once I learned that, it was easier to shoot astro because I had different lenses that were appropriate for that kind of photography too, like a wide angle lens as opposed to a more narrow lens. And then I made some friends online in my Instagram community. And honestly, I learned more just going out and shooting with them and just like making mistakes together and figuring it out together. And just talking about, our photography and how they edited, or how I was supposed to edit something, or, the settings that I had compared to the settings that they had with this lens. And that's really how I learned my astrophotography. One of my friends, Dan Stein, he's much bigger on Instagram too. His astro is like next level. He was the one who really taught me a lot. I mean, he also is like a science nerd, and he knows so much. His brain is like, it blows my mind. Like, when people talk and you don't really understand what they're saying and they sound like wah, 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 wah. When he talks, that's sort of like how I would understand him. But then I'd go home and I'd Google and I'd check on YouTube videos so I could remind myself what he was explaining to me. And that's really how I learned. I really had to practice a lot, listen to him, go home, Google it, make sure I understood what he was talking about, try it again. And that's kind of like how I blossomed. And with him and other friends from Instagram, I was able to catch like comets. We were able to catch the Milky Way in the Adirondacks many times. He taught me, he convinced me to get a star tracker, which still kind of confuses the heck out of me, but I'm still trying to use. Star tracker has really taken me up the next level, and just how to edit these photos, because astrophotography, like landscape photography, is so easy to edit compared to astrophotography.
Oh, yeah.
So much involved when it comes to astrophotography, and to not make it look fake too at the same time. Even though it's weird, astrophotography almost does look fake until
Yeah.
you edit it. Like you have to fix it so it doesn't, is what I've started to learn along the way too.
Yeah,
So-
well, taking a 1 second, well, not even a 1 second, like a quarter of a second photo on landscape, then taking a 26-second photo with an exposure set to, 1200. It's a whole different, like people don't understand that the difference and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, let me just say this Daniel J. Stein, I'm checking him out on Insta now. It's totally legit, man. This stuff is sick. Okay.
Yeah,
You look at, it's this. Yeah. These photos are crazy.
So Tad's going behind the back and doing this stuff behind there. Why don't you take a look? Well, that's not even on a I got another Adventure Photography. You should check them out on Instagram. That's my old platform.
Oh, is it another adventure?
Yes, it's. I used to do astrophotography. I did comets. This was beyond 4, 5, 10 years ago, and then I just stopped doing it because I was just like, I can't do it. So, but so we evolve into like Tad. What do you want to go with next? Like
So what I would like to know, Diana, is you kind of touched on some of these topics, but now we're going to unpack it. I want to do the deep dive into the details. You talked about astrophotography, maybe, a percentage of our listeners are into it, but most of our listeners are into hiking, photos taken on the hike, whether under the canopy or from a viewpoint. What are your pro tips? Do you have like any pre-programmed settings in your camera that like, okay, here I'm at a view, it's a cloudy day, this is what my settings are for white balance and aperture, well, ISO, or here I am, it's, I'm in a wooded, heavily canopied area with a lot of contrast in the light from dark to just, total whiteout in the photo or in the frame. So what are your tips on doing shots in those different settings?
Good luck. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, and the next question is, what are you
Good luck
drinking?
to you, sir. No. So everybody's camera is different too. Depending on the camera and the lens you have, your settings are going to be different. But as a rule of thumb, I keep my ISO as low as possible. Depending on what I'm shooting, I try to keep it at 100. Obviously, with astrophotography, that doesn't, apply at all. But when I'm out in landscape photography, I do it as much as possible. And then I try to adjust my shutter and my aperture around that. And you're going to have to carry a tripod around if you want to adjust the shutter accordingly in certain situations. But if you can get your aperture down to like 2.8, depending on the lens that you have, it'll let in more light and it'll be easier to shoot in those darker situations, like for sunrise and for sunset. And I think a lot of photography that people don't realize is about the editing process. Like, I think that people think that out of the gate, you're going to get these settings perfect and your picture is going to be great. And that's not the case at all. Like 90% of my photos for sunrise and sunset are edited completely. Like there's no way you're going to get the foreground in and the background in the same light. Like, but if you want the background, if you want the sun, if you want the pink skies, the foreground might look like a silhouette, but you'll have to lighten those shades,
So are you stacking?
I'm not a stacker really.
Yeah,
I've
same.
stacked a little bit with astrophotography, but I'm not very good at stacking. I've tried.
Diana, to be honest, with astrophotography, I've never stacked too.
Really?
It's so much time consuming that I'm like, screw this crap. It's not worth it.
So I'm going to ask you, for the listener who doesn't know what stacking is, tell us what stacking is. And then I'm going to ask you what your pro tip is for every hiker's nightmare. So tell us what stacking is.
Every hiker's nightmare. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, stacking is when you combine two photos or more than two photos together. It can be as many photos as you want. So, for example, let's say I want the foreground, which could be like a mountain in the foreground and it's green, and I want that green to be bright and beautiful. I might take a picture with my settings, like my aperture set a little bit differently and my shutter speed a little bit slower so that I can get that nice and bright. And then, but I want the pink sky in the background. So I would take another picture, leave it in the exact same spot on the tripod, and I would take a picture with different settings so that the sky in the background is nice and bright, the foreground is completely dark, because that's what you'll get if you want the sky to be, if you want to get the pink sky. And then later on, when you're editing, it's sort of just the process of stacking those two photos on top of each other in an editing process.
And you're not doing that on the trail.
No.
Right. So, all right. So here, I think, at least in the Northeast, this is what all of us wannabe photographers struggle with. And that is haze.
Haze?
Yeah.
Haze. Yeah.
So like the mountains, when you have this haze, it doesn't, sometimes it makes the mountains more dramatic, but then it blocks everything out in the freaking background. It sucks. So you're going from, let's say, Friday in Balsam Cap, but you can't see Black Dome Cheryl or Black Dome Thomas Cole and stuff like that, because there's so much haze that it's just, it's been happening a lot. Yeah.
So as a guy who's used to shoot film, I'd throw a UV filter on the end of my lens.
There you go.
What game do you bring to?
I don't like filters.
Okay.
I mean, I use like certain filters in certain situations. Like I'll use an ND filter for certain things that I need to slow my shutter down for. But I don't really carry UV filters or anything like that. I know I'm terrible. I don't even have one that covers my lens my lens doesn't break. I know, it's awful.
Same.
Awful.
That goes back to when you said good luck, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Nice.
Jesus.
But you can also bump the dehaze up if you're using Lightroom. This is where I say editing is an important process, because as long as you get things in focus the way you want, you can edit your photo pretty well, so that you can make it look like it did in person. The only thing you can't edit very well is when you blow something out too much. So if it's too bright, that's the hardest thing to edit, or if it's really dark. And that's where people stack, because there's no way to edit a completely blown out white photo. You can edit all day long, it'll still look weird. And same thing with a completely dark photo. Like the shadows will just make everything look pixelated if you turn it up too bright.
Yeah.
So my last two questions on hiking and photography, I'm going to make it my last three questions. But what are you using for editing? Is it Adobe Lightroom?
I use Lightroom and Photoshop, even though Photoshop is my worst enemy, but yep.
Okay.
Lightroom is fantastic. I love Lightroom.
What lens do you find yourself using the most on your typical hike?
I use my 24-70 2.8, probably the most.
Yeah, is 24-70, is that a constant aperture of 2.8?
No, you can change the aperture in the camera settings, but
yeah, but you can have 2.8 at a setting of 70 or 24,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
and then
that's my expensive one. That's my
yeah, that's a big lens and probably a lot of bucks to walk around without any protection on the end of it. So.
I have insurance. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I never you could get that. Wow.
Oh, yeah. That was something I learned with Roxy. Always to have insurance for my camera and my lens, thanks to her.
Gotcha. Okay. Should we ask how that came about?
Yeah.
Is there a story behind that?
Well, sure. Yeah, because this is a good lesson for all the listeners that you should always get insurance with any of the gear that you get. But I bought a new camera and lens at Best Buy. I got like the 0% financing. I think it was my Canon Rebel T7i. That was like my step up from the other one that I had before I got this mirrorless one. And it was literally the day that I got it. And we went to a lake in Harriman. We were shooting sunset. I had my tripod out, had my camera set up. So excited to try my new camera out. And a deer behind us went running by. Roxy was on a long leash. She's always on leash. She was on a long leash and I had her leash. The deer went by behind us and she went after the deer. The leash got ripped out of my hand, but luckily it wrapped around the tripod. So she took the tripod, the camera, and the lens all with her running after this deer, and everything smashed to the ground. Yeah. It was terrible.
So basically having a filter on the end of the lens wouldn't have helped.
Not for that unfortunately, no. But the people at Best Buy were really nice. Like I went running into Best Buy like as if I was like carrying like a patient, like, oh my God, my camera. The guy was so nice. He's like, you have the warranty. It's okay. Bing, bang, boom. Here's a new one. And I was like, wow.
It's like, is that it? That's easy? That easy?
Wow.
You sure about that?
Warranty coverage for
I
that.
was so excited. I was like, this is going to take months for me to get a new camera again. But no.
Okay. So my last question on cameras and photography is you have this expensive gear. It's big gear. How do you carry it?
That's always a struggle. So I'm very selective about what lenses I bring. I usually only bring the 24 to 70, but if I'm doing astro, it's a little different. I carry a few different lenses, and I had to switch my tripod because the tripod was the heaviest thing, and I don't carry it a lot. Dan will tell you this. My other friends will tell you this all the time too. I only carry it when I'm doing astro now. Like I won't even carry it for sunrise unless there's fog that I want to catch, because of the fact that it's just so heavy. But I did have to pay more for a more expensive tripod because it was lighter. So that's something that people will have to invest in if they want to be lighter or, hike lighter with a lot of camera gear. Because, I don't know. I've tried all kinds of light, crappy tripods, and you can buy like 3 different ones on Amazon and go through them. You might as well just buy an expensive one and keep it for life. So.
Like, are you using a neck strap to hold your camera as you hike around?
No, I actually have a harness. I use the cotton carrier harness now. So I used to use the Peak Design harness, which was like our Peak Design clip, because I had the Peak Design tripod as well. And that clip kind of clips onto your strap. And that's how I used to carry my camera. And then that wasn't comfortable for me anymore after some surgeries. So then I tried this different cotton carrier. And this is a full body harness that like straps around your body and your camera sort of sits in front of you. And it's really easy to like just twist and pull your camera out.
Like a metal like part that attaches to your camera and to the harness, right?
Yeah.
I used to have one of those back in the day.
Yeah, I like it a lot, and it's whatever's comfortable for you too. A lot of people also have the waistband ones. They're I think Peak Design and Cotton Carrier both carry 2 different ones for that too. Some people like to carry it on their waist.
Is that also known as a fanny pack?
Yeah, I guess
I would say so.
You can say that on the show. Go ahead. You can say fanny pack.
Why is that a bad word? I wear fanny pack when I walk around every day.
I had that. I was at freaking Mount Washington on the top with a freaking fanny pack, man.
Seriously? That's it. I'm not doing podcasts with
Dude,
you anymore,
there was
buddy.
like
if you're wearing, I don't want to be associated with the fanny pack guy. Okay, that's where I draw the line. Diana, I appreciate this. You've saved me. Well, I mean, for a woman, If for a woman, it's okay, but for a guy wearing a fanny
not
pack,
at all.
That's a little bit more insulting than what you said before about fanny packs. I feel like anybody can wear a fanny pack.
Exactly.
Not
I'm
my
up
generation.
I'm
no
up
way.
with the goddamn like snacks galore. Somebody's like, I'm sitting up there eating like 3 or 4 snacks, and they're having like a little like gel pack. And I'm just like, I'm enjoying these cookies that I had. Like, come on.
And then you're like, where's my phone? Doesn't matter. It's not in my hand because it's in my fanny pack.
Oh, where's my Nikon, whatever you carry, Tad? It's in my fanny pack.
Yeah, I see. I'm checking out this, the cotton carrier harness, and it probably does the job really well, but it's got to be hot in the summer wearing that.
Yeah, it's not that bad. I mean,
she hikes there in the early days or the early morning.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm not like a midday hot summer hiker. Like I've gotten used to doing sunrises or sunsets really. And that's pretty much it in the summer. And then I wait for the fall again.
Yeah. So, I mean, it shows that you have a passion, of course, for photography and stuff like that. It's tough to have that passion because, of course, you need to carry more gear. You need to be more kind of like a patient, like I said before, with your photography because, of course, you're going to have to adjust the settings to each and every, I wouldn't say second, to every minute that you are shooting a photo because the light might transparent into another area, stuff like that. Once again, Tad's done this. Tad's a photographer. I would say I'm still an amateur photographer, but once again, you have all these different settings that you can do. You have to take your time to, number one, research. You got to take your time to have patience for the shot. And then you got to have time. You got to have kind of time and kind of patience to carry it up with you, because to hike up these freaking mountains to do these shots sometimes will cost you 5 to 10 pounds, with your camera alone. And then, you might need a tripod, which I carry, the durable, craziest shit that'll add 5 pounds to your freaking backpack. So
Yeah, it's a lot. And like I said, I don't always carry my tripod. I remember, I'll give Dan a shout out for this too. He would carry my tripod for me, and he would carry like 8 of his own lenses, 2 of his own tripods. He was like a maniac. Like, yeah. So sometimes I'd be like, you know what? Because we'd be hiking in the Adirondacks, and the Adirondacks are harder for me than the Catskills. I'd be like, I'm not going to carry my tripod for this one. I'll just carry my camera and bump my ISO up if I have to. And he'd be like, you're not carrying your tripod. Give me your tripod. He'd carry it for me. And then, of course, he'd like double back and like run up the mountain, and I'd be like dying the whole way up, but make it.
So let's go quickly over your job as Catskill Center Communications Associate. You want to explain that a little bit?
Yes, I think I mentioned earlier that I went from one nonprofit to another. I just kind of like to follow my heart and work for places that I really support, and the Catskill Center is a place that I really support. And yeah, I had some background working for the nonprofit and doing communications at the Fungi Foundation. I also did some social media management on the side and in another small tech company. So when they opened up this position, it just kind of worked that it fit really well, and had some connections at the Catskill Center that I met earlier at Catskill Expos from years previous when I did some volunteer work with Gear Forward. And I was really excited to work with them. So, yeah, that's sort of where I am now. I just started in March, and I'm still learning the ropes there too. I love the staff. We have like an amazing staff there. Everybody really, really loves the Catskills and wants to help conserve and protect the Catskills any way that they can. So it's great to work with people that are like-minded.
Yeah. So, what are have you have any goals and stuff like that, objectives that you want to accomplish with your position here at the Catskill Center?
Goals. I guess I'm still learning the ropes, so I don't know if I have any like specific goals, but in general, I just want to support all the many programs that they have with any and all communications that we do, from e-blast to social media to making partnerships through fundraising. There's a lot of different things that I want to do to help support the various programs that they have. And they have a lot of programs that I didn't even know about before I worked there. Like, I can't believe all the stuff that they do now that I've started working there and realizing all the different ways that they help the Catskill region. It's amazing.
So give us one of those things that you have found out that amazes you about the Catskill Center that you think would also be equally amazing to us and our listeners.
Oh my gosh. Well, you've had a lot of my coworkers here already, so it's hard to pick just one thing. Like CRISP, the invasive species program that we have, that blows my mind, the work that they do.
Yeah, definitely.
Realize like what goes into that, the kind of physical work, and like even just on a fun hike, like we were doing a staff day, they immediately beeline to where they see invasive species. It's like, embedded in their brain. They're constantly helping. They're constantly serving. So that blows my mind. We also have a stream side acquisition program too that deals with invasive species in water. The people at the Catskill Visitor Center, the people that they have to interact with and educate on a daily basis, our stewards program. I didn't know that we were a land trust till I started working there too, that, we're working to preserve land, and we have these different places that we own now as preservations, but we're also constantly trying to acquire more land to preserve land as well. It's just so involved. There's so many different ways of helping the Catskills.
Yeah, definitely. You guys have that area on Platte Clove that's you maintain and stuff like that. So, yeah.
And I think they just got a new piece of land in connection with that. So that's exciting. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. the Catskill Center is essentially the hiker's voice for preserving, protecting, maintaining the Catskills. And so we have Diana here tonight, and we can hear through her passion for the Catskills. So let's continue supporting the Catskill Center.
Yeah, definitely. Appreciate it. And if anybody, let us know if you supported the Catskill Center. We'll mention you, of course.
I send in a check twice a year. So.
Yeah, same here, actually. Yeah.
And of course, sign up for a hike for the Catskills in August. It's a great way to get out and, recreate responsibly and raise some funds at the same time.
There you go.
Correct. So let's break it down into your hiking with your dog, Roxy. So what got you bringing into Roxy on hikes? So I'm guessing this would be kind of like you just wanted to be with her 24/7, right?
Yeah.
That's the way I want it.
It was also just like natural. Like she had so much energy. It was my first dog. So I was like, oh, we'll go for a little 20-minute walk here and a 10-minute walk here and she'll be fine. But no, she had so much energy. We'd be walking for miles and miles and hours every day. And she'd still be ripping things up the second we get home. So naturally, hiking just kind of worked out perfectly that I like to hike and I like landscape photography and she liked to hike. So it really helped to get her energy out to explore new places and sniff new things and things like that.
Was Roxy the first that you would venture with as a dog?
Yeah. Yeah. She was my first dog. So,
what kind of dog is she?
She's a mutt. She's about 50 pounds. I guess you could kind of call her like a blackmouth cur, the mix from down south. She came from Virginia. She was a rescue. I got her when she was like 4 months old. She was such a cute little puppy, little psycho.
There's nothing wrong with that. That I got one of those as well. Is she like, I'm guessing since you take her out on the trails, she's not really dog reactive?
Well, that changed over the years. She did become dog reactive. So we learned a lot about her interactions. Yeah, she didn't start off dog reactive. She started off as the friendly dog. And it was interesting because I used to, after I made other friends that had dogs and we'd go hiking, a lot of them were nervous because their dogs were dog reactive, but my dog was friendly. And I'd be like, oh, don't worry, I'll have Roxy jump in front of your dog if a dog comes off leash. And that's what Roxy would do. She'd jump in front, lay on her back and, be friendly and everything would be fine. And then that changed. She had a bad interaction with my ex's dog and it just kind of led to like this reactive behavior. And I became the person that was paranoid to bring her on certain trails because I didn't want off-leash dogs running up to her. And it was a real learning curve on training and what to do in those situations.
Correct. I have my dog Dahlia that we have now is from the island of Jamaica. So she was a beach dog that was pregnant she had her babies and we rescued her off the island. And we didn't know that she was dog reactive until we brought her back to our place where we had a corgi and a black lab, and she overreacted with our corgi and almost snapped the ear off of our corgi. So that was a good month and a half of us experimenting, kind of gauging, can she do this? Can she not do it? She eventually realized she was part of the pack. But when you take her out on walks, she cannot see another dog without barking, reacting, and stuff like that. So once again, it's good to kind of get your dog, once again, to freaking take your dogs off leash on any of these hikes because you never know what happens. Like might have a dog like mine where your dog runs up and my dog will just attack yours out of nowhere for no reason because she was taught like that on the beach to survive. That's the thing is my dog, Dahlia was a female, so I'm saying she was abused by males up on the beach and she got pregnant and stuff like that. So you have these situations. I know we preach to the choir about this. A lot of people listen to this show are already informed and stuff, but do not have your dogs off leash because it could cause a huge problem, not only with the dogs, but the owners as well,
Yep.
It's crazy. So, I mean, that's complicated. What you have going on is complicated, of course, taking her on trail now. She looks plopped over there. She looks comfortable, but, on the trail meeting up with dogs is a stressful situation, not for just the dogs, but the owners as well, because you don't know what the hell is going to happen.
Yeah, it was really like, it made me so anxious. It made me not want to hike even because I was so nervous about having to deal with these situations with off-leash dogs, and how are we going to get out of this situation with her trying to rip them apart and dog fights. And we did a lot of training, a lot of positive reinforcement training with treats, and she's much better now, but I have to constantly, like, now she gets to the point where she sees a dog, she looks at me immediately for a treat. Like, she's like, I didn't kill this dog, so I need a treat immediately. Where's my treat? I want a treat every 5 seconds if you want this dog to live.
That is great upon your part, because you're once again teaching the dog as you're like a steward, of course, with the dog, and you're teaching the dog the proper rules of the trail and stuff like that. So it's tough. It's very tough.
Yeah, the off-leash dog thing is scary too. There's just so many situations. And I know people have the argument of they're dogs, they should be wild, you should let them run free. But also, they've not been wild. They've been domesticated. They've been in your home. They don't know the dangers of that cliff. They don't know the dangers of chasing the deer, into the street. They don't know the dangers of the snakes that they might try to attack. There's so many different things that can harm them, because it's not their instinct anymore. They're not actually wild dogs. They've been domesticated. So
let me ask this. As somebody who grew up hiking with a dog, but hasn't done that in, honestly, 50 years. When I was hiking with the dog as a kid, and we were hiking where nobody else hiked, my dog wasn't leashed. But now I would think if I was to go in the Catskills with a dog without a leash, and for whatever reason, my dog ran off, what am I going to do? Right? What do I do when it comes time for me to head back to my car and my dog isn't around? Don't I feel really, really bad that my dog wasn't leashed? My dog got away. And now my dog, I don't know, somewhat ironically, you think of a dog as being able to survive outdoors, but really my dog didn't grow up surviving outdoors. But now I'm leaving and my dog has to survive outdoors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I come across people all the time that are out hiking with their dogs, and their dogs are not leashed, and they're obviously okay with it, but I just think it's risky, and they're just not being considerate, not only of other hikers, but the dog itself. What do you think?
So many. I mean, I've had this debate so many times with people, and like I've explained to people, if your dog isn't at your knee constantly, heel position, and they're constantly paying attention to you and you're paying attention to them when you're hiking, then no, they should not be off leash. Absolutely not, because even like going over above 3,500 feet, you're going to have the dog go off leash and they're going to ruin vegetation that can't grow back, or their excrement, the whole idea is to leave no trace and pick up after them as they go as well. And there's a lot of different things that are involved with off-leash dogs that people really don't consider. And they just think they're out in the wild and that's how it should be. And my dog will never leave. My dog will never leave my side. And my dog is super friendly. Well, guess what? When another dog that's not super friendly approaches them, they may not be super friendly anymore. When a gunshot goes off, that might spook them. They might run off. Your dog that was always by your side may not constantly be by your side. And then you have a lost dog. And I've experienced that too. So that's heartbreaking. I mean, I lost Roxy for 5 hours once because my friend dropped her leash. Oh, it was awful. I was hysterical. It was embarrassing how many people saw me crying hysterically in the middle of the woods looking for her.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So what time of day did that ordeal come to an end? The 5 hours?
Probably about 4:00. It was, we did a sunrise hike. It was in Jersey. And on our way back from the sunrise hike, when we were walking down, she saw a deer. Deer are our enemy. And my friend was holding her leash because we were coming down a steep part. So I said, you hold her leash. Let me get down. And she saw the deer and she took off and he dropped the leash. And that was it. She was gone. She's like a cheetah. and we couldn't find her, and it was awful. So yeah, 5 hours later, we were searching for her. We called the park police. Everybody came. All these neighbors that lived nearby, that people that lived in the neighborhood came and helped search for her. It was terrible. It was so bad.
I could only imagine.
It was so bad. I was like, not only was I hysterically crying, but like the park police said, well, like halfway through, because we kept hiking down the mountain and back up and down and back up, and we were bushwhacking, and I think I hiked like 25 miles that day, and I didn't even blink because I was just like, I'm gonna find my dog. And the park police were like, well, if you don't find her tonight, just leave a piece of your clothing. She'll find her way back tomorrow. And I was hysterical. I was like, I'm not leaving here without my dog. It was really funny. And the neighbors that lived around the area were so nice. They got out on their quads. They were searching all over. It was a great community of people helping out. And one person, of course, told their daughter, there might be cars parked in the driveway. They're searching for a dog. And she was like, oh, is it Roxy? She was someone that I was friends with on Instagram. And she was like, oh my God. It was so embarrassing because I had tears streaming down my face. And I was like,
oh.
So do you have some way of GPS tracking her now?
So after that situation, I looked into GPS collars, and unless you're getting the hunting collars, the really thick ones with the long antennas, there isn't a great solution for that. I did get the Fi collar, which works really well, and it's smaller. It's a smaller GPS, but it doesn't work well when there's no cell service. So I can track her on my phone when there's cell service, and like, how through the Catskills, there's places where you'll ping service. So it'll ping. So I'll get an idea of where she was, like a half hour ago, or, so I could probably use that to find her. I don't know if it's as good as like the hunting collars. So, but she also stays hooked onto my side. Now, like after that experience, we take a lot more precautions because I don't let anybody else hold her leash because...
Why not a doggy vest and somehow affix a Garmin InReach to the top of the vest?
Expensive.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, the vest is not that expensive, but a Garmin InReach is still monthly fee, and you got to pay like $400 for an InReach stuff. It's
you might as well just get the Garmin hunting collar for that much, but it just doesn't look comfortable. But I guess some dogs wear it and it's fine, but. For her, she didn't like. I tried it with the long antenna, and it just wasn't good for her.
So that was a suggestion from the guy that doesn't go hiking with the dog. And so, why don't you do like the rundown of the gear that I should buy and have with me if I decide to go out tomorrow, pick up a dog, and start hiking with Fido this weekend?
Wow.
What do I need? What do I need to make my dog comfortable and safe?
Number one, don't ever just start hiking with a dog that you pick up, especially not a puppy. You really need to gradually get them into hiking, especially younger dogs. Their bones haven't formed fully. You can really mess up their hips. Their paws are very soft as well. So it really takes, some time to build their stamina when it comes to hiking. They could cut their paws real easily when they're younger, and there's arteries in their paws, so they could bleed out. So you have to be super careful with that. So that's the first thing I would say. Then I'd also say get to know your dog before you hike. As you're gradually starting out hiking with them, try to understand their breed. Even if they're a mixed breed, like Roxy has thick fur, so I know she doesn't like the heat, Get to know your dog. Pit bulls have very thin fur. They're going to get cold real easily. Dogs with short snouts won't be able to breathe when it's humid outside. So you shouldn't be taking those dogs on hikes at all, or more than 10-minute walks when it's like 90 degrees. So really get to know your dog before you go on a hike. Then I would say you can start investing in hiking gear once their stamina is a little bit better. And for her, the feet collar is one thing that I have, the GPS collar. She wears a harness, and she used to wear it. I wonder if they still make them. It's called ground bird gear. They used to make them for like through hikers with dogs, and it was a tailor-made harness for her. So I had to like measure her different areas of her body. It wasn't just like the rough wear harnesses that you can buy online, because she slipped out of those so many times because she's got like a broad chest and a skinny waist. So she would just be like, "Urgh," and like wiggle out. So this one has 2 different straps. It was, aligned for her dimensions, and it had come with like a pouch that she could wear on her back as well. When she was younger, she used to wear that. So I would say be careful with the harnesses that you buy, and make sure you practice using them at home before you take them for a hike with them, because they can probably slip out pretty easily. I always pack an extra leash because leashes break, and you also don't know, you might come along a stray dog and you might have to help capture them. So it's good to have an extra leash. That's actually happened a few times in our neighborhood. So I always carry an extra leash somewhere. Let's see what else. I carry a water bottle for her, a gulpy, it's called. It's like
gulpy.
Yeah. It's like $10 on Amazon, and it like opens up where you can just squirt the water in, and it's easier.
It's like a bowl that you can squirt the water in. Yeah.
So you don't have to like carry a separate water bowl itself. It's all together. It's only like $10, and lots of treats, because they are going to be using a lot of energy and you want them to make it through the hike. Depending on the weather, if it's cold, I usually carry these booties. They're called paws, Pawz. People wear different booties for their dogs in the winter. These are like they almost look like little balloons. They come on and off real easily. They're the only ones that she'll wear. And they can break. They come in a pack of like 12. So like you can always have extra if you need, but they don't really break that easily. But for her, they're the most comfy for her. And those are the ones that she'll wear. I found that the other booties, like the thick, rough wear booties, or the other musher booties that they have, when you're doing longer hikes, like in the Catskills, you don't realize, but their paws aren't fitting in their boots the way our feet fit into ours. So their nails are constantly pushing down on that hard booty, and it can make their nails bleed. So we tried that before. It didn't go well. So that's something, you have to know your dog and their feet as well, what they can handle. I always carry Musher's wax because that helps with the ice. It helps with the snow as well. And
when Roxy was hiking in the winter, was she always wearing like boots and stuff like that, or?
No, not always. Like she's a winter dog. See, that's why I say like you got to know your dog, because her feet are calloused enough too, because we walk outside. I don't have a backyard, so I'm walking with her on the gravel every day. So her feet are like hard and calloused, so they can handle a lot more. People that only have dogs in their backyard and they don't take them for like walks on the street every single day, their paws are going to be softer, so they'll be more sensitive when it comes to like hot rocks or cold snow. So you kind of have to gauge it according to that. But Roxy's feet are really rough because we walk, on the street a lot. But
is there a way you can tell kind of like when they have rough? I mean, is it kind of like rubber? Because my dog has like rubber feet where you like brush against it from like back to front and it feels like it's a goddamn alligator skin.
Yeah, that means it's more calloused, and that's kind of what you want when they're hiking. But, and like I said, you kind of know your dogs, like, if you haven't been hiking with them, you haven't getting them gradually into hiking too, you don't want to take them up a high peak, when you've only been going around a lake for the past, month or so. You want to get them gradually used to that, because people don't realize either, like when it's really hot out, the rocks, when there's a lot of rocks, like going up, what's it called? Going up all the scrambles and stuff on, oh my gosh, why can't I think? It's because it's late at night.
Yeah.
Not Slide. Slide doesn't have all the scrambles. Slide kind of Wittenberg. Wittenberg has so many scrambles and so many rocks. And when it's hot outside, that can like really wear down their paw pads very quickly. And it's dangerous. Like I said, there's an artery in their paw too. So like if you cut that, you want to wrap it up immediately, because they could bleed out if they cut the artery. A friend of mine took her dog hiking, and it was just in Jersey on a hot day. And I was with her, and I mentioned to her it was going to be really hot. There was a lot of rocks on here, and her dog was a backyard dog. And she said, oh, she'll be fine. I hike with her all the time. And guess what? Halfway through the hike, she couldn't walk anymore. And we had to carry her like 100-pound pit bull out because
Jeez.
her paw pads were so ripped up from the hot rocks. It was terrible. And then she had to keep her paws wrapped for 2 weeks after that. It was really tough. And again, we all make those mistakes. We think that they can handle these certain things. And I was just grateful that it wasn't a super long hike that we had to deal with this. Because if we were 7 miles in a hike, carrying a dog out would be really hard.
Definitely.
Do it, but
Yeah. So I know when I take Dahlia on a little walk around the area, when it's hot out, kind of like 80 degrees, I can tell when she's had enough, because she'll kind of like 3/4 of the way through, she'll stop and kind of just lay down in the shade. She's smart. She's a smart dog. But then I'm like, yeah, she couldn't go on these hikes with me. That is a sign that, number one, she's older and she doesn't have the durability to go on these hikes. So you gotta, once again, like you said, you gotta, I wouldn't say train them, but kind of God, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of like exercise with them to show their strength and be like, this dog can't make it, a mile around a normal block. So how the hell are they going to make it 3 miles up to the top of slide with 1,200 feet, 1,600 feet of elevation gain? It's just not possible.
What I'm hearing here is, for both the dog and your sake, you got to start off, in small increments, build up to something, and then you kind of learn your dog's limits and how well or how poorly your dog is doing under certain circumstances, as opposed to just buying all this gear and diving into it and thinking, as you have all this stuff, you'll be able to hike, or you'll be able to do the Burroughs Range in a morning with your dog, when all your dog has done is run back and forth on the run in the backyard in your grass. So
yeah, exactly. And it's I say pay attention to your dog, pay attention to their body language. And Stash just mentioned, he knows when his dog starts to sit down, okay, she's had enough. And some people don't realize that. Some people just think they're being lazy, or they're not paying attention, they're not following their direction. But as long as you're paying attention to their body language. The other sad part is, though, there's a lot of dogs that won't show that body language. They will follow their owners loyally wherever they want to go until their body physically can't do it anymore. And that's when we get the heat stroke. And that's when we get, the injuries in winter hikes and things like that. It's when they push too much.
What about the winter? Can you graduate into the winter and talk about dogs in the winter hiking?
Yeah, it took me a while to understand Roxy's winter limits, because she loves the snow and she loves the winter. So it was when is it too cold for her? And sometimes I put these paw things on her and she'd rip them off and be running around, and she didn't need all this stuff on her. She didn't even like to wear a jacket, but I realized that 15 degrees is kind of her limit when it comes to doing a certain type of hike and stopping. We can keep going, but if we stop for more than 10, 15 minutes, she gets cold when it's under 15 degrees. I learned that on Overlook, because it was 0 degrees one time we did a winter hike there, and I felt so bad. I didn't even stay at the top. My friends went and did the fire tower, and we just turned around because she was shivering, and I never seen her shiver before at that point. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to kill my dog. We immediately went back down, but again, that, I was paying attention to her. Some people might not be paying so much close attention, and then you don't realize, and then they get hypothermic, and that's really hard to come back from when it's cold out. So
yeah, it's definitely, once again, the summit is not all that you need. You need to, we talked about the kids and hiking and now dogs hiking. You need to pay attention to their kind of their reactions to the cold, the heat, stuff like that. You need to, if it's shivering, there's a problem. The dog's cold. If it's over heavily breathing, that means the dog is very excessively warm. So, do you have any certain kind of not devices, but extremities that you use with the dogs, with Roxy during the winter, stuff like that? Like you said, the cold paws and stuff like that. You use the grips and stuff like that. And you said that she rips them off though.
Yeah, she's weird. She doesn't really need them until it's about 0 degrees out. She's an odd one. But I honestly use the booties more around where I live because they put so much salt down for the ice that hurts her feet more than the actual snow and things like that. But there are some dogs with sensitive paws that might need that. And the musher's wax helps too. You can use that instead of the booties. But if you see your dog lifting their paws and it looks like they're hopping a little bit, that's because it's too cold or that's because it's too hot. Like, they're not just being silly. It's because they're in pain.
Well, I mean, once again, these little things that you can notice that you can learn from your dog and stuff like that. It's just crazy. Like, what else? What is the biggest piece of advice that you give someone to think about taking their fur baby on the trail? Not just a dog, but maybe a cat, stuff like that.
Do your research beforehand. Make sure you know the trail and your animal at the same time. I also would say carry an emergency kit, not just for you, but for your animal, because you'll need specific things in your emergency kit. I have a kit, my first aid kit for Roxy is bigger than my own first aid kit, honestly. So, there's specific things that they might need, medicines even, like if your dog has a certain disease or anything and they need certain medicines and you're stuck on a mountain longer than you think, it's good to have that with you. I carry a card with all of Roxy's doctor's information, any kind of medicines and the dosage, because you might forget that in a panic, like, oh, she needs Benadryl, how much do I give? Make sure that dosage is on there in the card, things like that. I definitely carry like vet wrap and tweezers and a tick key especially. I don't have a one piece of advice. I have so much advice.
Well, the advice I'm hearing is that Tad shouldn't hike with a dog. I would have tried to do the Devil's Path in a day as our first hike. Come on, Roxy, let's do the Devil's Path.
Yeah, you're doing so slow. Hurry up.
Neither of us would make it. So,
and also just consider like there's an out and there's a back or there's a loop. So like if you think your dog is struggling halfway through, remember they have to make it back too. It's like the same thing that humans forget about themselves sometimes. Like I just want to make it to this one point and then the way back is really hard or something can happen in that situation where they don't make it back. So turn around. Never be ashamed to turn around. Nothing is worth your dog's life.
As a kid growing up in southwestern New York, I'd spend all day outside with my dog and we'd go all over the place. And I didn't even have a backpack for myself, Yeah. I mean, we drink out of the streams and, just kind of like live out in the woods all day. And I guess we both did okay. So,
well, also your dog was used to that. It was almost like that was they weren't as domesticated because they were being wild with you. So
yeah. According to I have some stories. According to the DEC, my dog was a little too wild. So
too wild.
Hey.
Well, we also didn't have as many
visits.
ticks back then, right?
Yeah. Well, we didn't have as many rules. I don't think we had any rules back then.
True. It's ticks and rules. That's the whole freaking perceptive. It's like no ticks, no rules.
Yeah. You don't know what nightmares are until your dog steps on a tick nest. That is like.
Well, I remember 3 times that my dog got too close to a porcupine.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did they get porcupines?
Oh, yes. It was awful. Yeah. So, and maybe some listeners are saying, well, that's why you should have a leash. I don't know. I mean, we were, I was just a farm kid. We were just out having a good time. But yeah, I felt bad for poor old Shag when that happened to him. So
it happens, though.
Poor guy. Yeah, but he had a heart of gold, man. He was my best friend growing up. So
that's what they are. Like, look at Roxy laying over there. It's adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's out for the night. Hopefully
that's good.
Again.
All right. So to wrap this up, Diana, the last question: post hike bruise and bites. What do you got for us? Hudson Valley, Catskills, whatever you want, name it.
Bruise and bites, Hudson Valley, Catskills. I don't know why I didn't think about this ahead of time.
Apparently, you don't listen to the show then.
No, I do.
What's going on here?
She doesn't listen.
She's
to
an
this far
imposter.
end.
Yeah.
You got me going on the dog stuff. You know, my brain is like, I have so much more to say. So if anybody has any questions, just send me a message and I'll give you a whole story. But there's a lot of places I love in the Catskills, and there's a lot of new places. And one place that I recently started going to with some coworkers, because it's near where our office is called Mornings Cafe in Arkville. Mornings Cafe. Let me just double check that.
Make sure you check that. That's
Oh, I think I know of this place.
Yeah, it's so good. So I also am a vegetarian, so I'm usually stuck eating certain things in certain places. I usually when my aunt owned the place in Roxbury, we would bring all of our food up and cook there, because also we had the dogs. And so when I found this place, it was great. They have like tofu bowls and all kinds of different options. I was like, this is the best place ever.
Awesome. I will put that in the show notes and we'll tag them in everything. So to wrap this up, thank you, Diana, to be with us tonight. We learned definitely a lot about just photography and hiking with dogs. A lot, like more than I have in the last 179 episodes. Holy shit, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Like
I'm sorry if I talk too much. I feel like once I get going on stuff like that I'm passionate about, I just can't stop.
I could do this all night. I don't think if our listeners can enjoy this all day or whatever.
I think so. I
hope so. This was a fantastic episode of just a boatload of information on photography and hiking with dogs. It's just, and hiking in general is just out of this world. I love, this is the stuff that I love doing. This is why I love doing it. You know, it just opens the world of hiking the Catskills, Hudson Valley and stuff like that. And that's why I have people on here like you, Diana, just to give that information to get educated on the stuff we want to talk about, the stuff that we want to load onto people, to hopefully that they will enjoy and they will take in and pass on that education and stuff. So
I hope so. Keep your dog safe, keep your humans safe.
Exactly.
And keep your trail safe.
Yes. Volunteer. She is here to also preach about dogs and volunteering and photography. Jesus, this is just incredible. And to talk about our freaking sponsors, to do our sponsors for us. I
love all your sponsors, and I really thank you for this show. I really I feel weird talking about myself in certain situations because I like listening to other people's stories, and I think it's really interesting to hear what people have to share. So going from following certain people on Instagram and then hearing them on your show has been really interesting. And even Stash and Tad, I've followed you guys. So this has been interesting to learn more about you. So thank you for all you do. This is really nice.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I appreciate, everyone once again who is supported and sponsoring the show. 179 episodes, and I still 179. Never thought that, 3 years ago I would make it this far.
I never thought I'd make it past one episode.
I know, right? I was just 20 episodes in, I'd be done. So thank you to everyone who has donated the show. And once again, 179 episodes in. Thank you to everyone who's still listening. Diana, thank you for joining us on the show. It was a fantastic chat. And let's hopefully have you again. And hopefully we'll talk more about research more into dog and photography and stuff. So
yeah, definitely.
Have a good night, and let's get together in the future.
Yeah, see you on the trail.
Yeah, thank you. Take care.
Yeah, good night.
Hey everyone, I just want to thank you for listening to the show. If you enjoyed the show, subscribe and throw down a smooth review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or any podcast platform that you use. You can also check daily updates of the podcast, hikes, hiking news, and local news on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and the official website of the show. Remember this, you gotta just keep on living in the Catskills, man. Livin.
Wicked.